It's Tuesday, July 28th. Today, caught on camera, but not by police. A Winnipeg mother's distress as she watches a trespasser on her property while her teenage son is at home alone. Why police say it took officers more than 2 hours to arrive. Also, what comes next after the drug crackdown? The push from Winnipeg's business community to keep the momentum going following a 10-day blitz by police on drugs. Plus, stolen foster puppy successfully rescued. How a pilfered puppy ended up back in the arms of its grateful owners. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, I'm Daniel Halverson. Thanks so much for joining us, and I'm here with Catherine Dow, our weather specialist. And you're going to hear that a lot more, folks. I'm so happy to announce that Catherine is permanently stepping into the role as weather specialist here on Your Morning Winnipeg. So well deserved. Your wealth of knowledge, your quick wit, your smile.
Thanks, Daniel.
Second to none.
Director Kim is protesting some of those compliments in my ear. We'll be having a word later. Yeah, obviously this is so exciting. Huge shoes to fill. Luckily, I do have similar colored hair, so I did get Terry's color formula before I went. Just kidding. We're both natural redheads. Who are we joking here? But yeah, so excited to be just continuing to share my mornings with everyone out there because our viewers are the best in the world, I believe. So.
Awesome. And it's Tuesday morning, but it's Sunday night cruise night over at Finn McCool's on Grant. That's where we're going to find Ainsley McPhail hearing about cruise night. But it's shaping up to be another hot one here in Winnipeg today, isn't it?
If you have a vintage car, lucky enough to be one of those cool folks that I see on Sunday nights cruising around, hopefully it's equipped with AC because, wow, yeah, we're in for another scorcher and Mother Nature is not letting up on the gas. I'm really mixing my metaphors here. But yeah, 16 degrees out there, already starting off pretty balmy. It's pretty hazy but clear otherwise. Winds out of the northwest at 6 kilometers per hour. Barometric pressure is falling. Humidity sitting at 97%. So yes, we're starting off on a decently clear note. But again, we always seem to have this little spoiler alert, as I call it, this little system drifting over, usually hovering around central portions of our province. But we know that even though the radar is not conveying it, there's always that chance of thunderstorms when it gets this hot. And as such, our heat warnings have only expanded since yesterday, drifted further to the north because yes, temperatures are going to be very hot just to look at them, peaking in the low 30s through much of the province. But then that humidex is going to make it feel anywhere from 35 to 40 degrees. And it's not just today, it's a prolonged heat event that's likely to last through the week. Like taking a look at our futurecast, we get a good sense of how our skies will be shaping up. Good amount of cloud coverage in our very northerly part of the province. And then for the rest of us, more of a mix of sun and cloud. As the day progresses, we do start to see some clouds build here or there. Again, most of the province, I'd say pretty much all, has a low chance of rain or thunderstorms because of that heat, humidity, and moisture in the air, which could brew that kind of convective activity. Then overnight, we do start to see these little disturbances clip in, but we're keeping an eye on something much more substantial here as it pushes in over those very northerly points by Wednesday. I mentioned the heat. Temperatures today pretty hot at 31 degrees, and then if you can believe it, getting even hotter into tomorrow, 34 degrees before a merciful cool down on Thursday, although 27 is not exactly cool.
Some tense moments over the weekend when a security camera alerted a Winnipeg mother to an intruder in her backyard. Her son was home alone. She called 911, but it was hours before help arrived. CTV's Joseph Bernacki reports.
It's scary knowing that your kids are home and you're not home. Something could happen.
Crystal Watson is still shook up, thinking back to Saturday morning. She and her husband were out grocery shopping when her phone buzzed.
We got a notification from our camera in the back that someone was in our backyard. Looked like it was scoping out our house.
She called her 15-year-old son, who was at home. He quickly dialed 911.
It was scary at first because, someone was in my backyard, without knowing them.
Security camera video from their house shows someone looking through their front and backyards. Minutes later, the person is gone. Although nothing was taken from their yard this time, the family is upset over response times from the Winnipeg Police Service.
It took about 2.5 hours for them to come, even after my son called them.
The Winnipeg Police Service confirmed the incident. They say depending on the resources available and whether or not a person's life is at risk, response times can vary.
Whenever we get a call that comes in, it is prioritized in importance as far as a threat to property or a threat to a person. Of course, there's precedent set with a threat to a person will take a precedent over a threat to property.
Still, Watson wants to know how she can better protect her family. They installed the security cameras after their barbecue was stolen in May, minutes after they used it. She now refuses to keep anything in their backyard out of fear.
We took things in our own hands and we put boards on our gate to make it higher so they can't jump in the back.
Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Crystal Watson says nothing was stolen from their property on Saturday. Meantime, the Winnipeg Police Board could not speak to this specific incident, but encourages homeowners to report any incidents so they can be recorded for crime rate statistics. We're now learning more about what happened when bullets were fired into the U.S. consulate in downtown Toronto for the second time this year.
We'll get you. We have apprehended the previous shooters, all 3 of them.
The consulate was previously targeted on March 10th when 2 suspects allegedly fired multiple shots at the building before driving away in a stolen vehicle. This time, shots were followed by a high-speed police chase. The pursuit was eventually called off for safety reasons. Police couldn't say whether they believe the 2 shootings are linked. Veteran Toronto police officer Mark Pinizzato was killed while assisting in a raid tied to the first shooting investigation, which has also been linked to a recent FBI terrorism arrest. Since March, extra security guards have been placed inside the consulate, as well as a regular patrol outside. Resources are at capacity in the fight against wildfires in BC, with almost 140 burning and more than 50 out of control. Hot, dry, windy weather is driving the flames in the interior and forcing dozens of evacuation alerts. More than 200 firefighters from the Yukon and Alberta arrived this week to help in the battle, and more later from Mexico. Weather is also hampering efforts to get fires near Boston Bar under control. Some residents said in a message to CTV News they're desperate to return home, but fear looters may get there first. More than 330,000 people have been evacuated as wildfires tear through France and Spain. Northwest of Madrid, crews are battling 2 major fires. Weeks of extreme heat have created perfect conditions for flames to spread, and more scorching temperatures are in the forecast. And France is fighting what President Emmanuel Macron says is the country's most challenging period since the Second World War. This fire near the southern city of Bordeaux is so powerful, it created its own weather system generating thunderstorms. Meanwhile, firefighters in Italy used 3 Canadair water bombing planes to put out fires there. As hearings get underway for Manitoba Hydro's energy future, a former Manitoba energy minister is pressing the Crown utility to expand its wind power generating capacity.
Is that Hydro has been slow walking and refusing and backing off wind for more than 20 years, while North Dakota's got 36 times our wind capacity, 36 times. Quebec is way, way ahead.
Tim Sale is throwing his weight behind a new report from Climate Action Team Manitoba, which accuses Hydro of delaying the introduction of wind power despite enthusiasm from developers, communities and politicians in the early 2000s. The Crown Corporation's current proposed plan does include adding 600 megawatts of new wind power by 2035. Hydro spokesperson Peter Chura says the plan is to work in conjunction with the proposed natural gas turbines near Brandon.
Right, well, first of all, it's not either or. Wind energy is great, but it's intermittent. You can't rely on it all the time, so it needs to be backed up by what we call dispatchable capacity. That's something that can kick in quickly to pick up the slack when wind stops blowing and the wind energy stops being available. So natural gas burning turbines would fill that role, as well as be available for peak energy times when our capacity reaches its limits, and also for emergencies and droughts.
But existing power purchase agreements will expire over the next decade or so as wind turbines reach the end of their life, meaning the net increase will be closer to 340 megawatts. Well, attention all wizards, witches and muggles, magic is coming to Tim's. To mark the 25th anniversary of the first Harry Potter film, Tim Hortons is releasing special items, including donuts inspired by each Hogwarts house. They land in stores on August 12th. There will also be a golden snitch Timbit and Timbit holder, as well as Harry Potter inspired drinks and limited edition merch. Plus, on August 28th, participating Tim Hortons restaurants will host a Harry Potter trivia night. And take a look at the current traffic situation at Confusion Corner. It looks like a smooth drive so far. If you have any tips to pass along, text the best at 10400. And not a lot of traffic on the roads, which we don't see on Sunday nights here in Winnipeg. That's when cruise night happens. And although it's Tuesday morning, our Ainsley McPhail is going to tell us a little bit about car culture here in Winnipeg.
Good morning. Yes, the Grant Park parking lot hasn't looked this good since last Sunday, where they see between 250 to 400 cars, thousands of people corralling around here just to see the Winnipeg cruising culture. Now, this has blown up in the last couple of years and been only doing it full-time a couple years. So this morning we're going to be learning about the cars. We're going to hear about a book of a guy who wrote about a car every single day and how it connected to him and his life, and also about the charity component as well. They're giving back to places like Harvest Manitoba and breast cancer awareness. Back to you.
Thanks, Ainsley. And up on the rooftop is weather specialist Catherine Dow. It's early and it looks pretty calm out there this morning.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe cool, but that's not the word I would use to describe, because already at this early hour it's 17 degrees. The winds are calm. That won't do much today to cool us down for what is sure to be a very hot day indeed. Pretty clear, a little bit of haze. I actually saw there's some fog, pretty dense, reported in Portage la Prairie. So conditions like that expected throughout the Red River Valley this morning with those denser fog patches. Barometric pressure is falling, humidity sitting at 93%. So yes, we're in store for a very hot day indeed. In fact, a few of them to be sure. A prolonged heat event is unfolding. As we know, those heat warnings have been in effect in southern Manitoba for much of into the weekend to this week. And then they expanded yesterday, making their way as far north as the Paw and Flin Flon. Temperatures today peaking for us here in much of the province in the low 30s, but with that humidex could feel more like 35 to 40 degrees at time. And with that, I sound like a broken record, but there's always a stray chance of rain or thunderstorms alongside a mix of sun and cloud. I'm going to head inside, enjoy that AC, but stay with us. So much more Your Morning Winnipeg on the other side.
Weather is brought to you by the Better Business Bureau. Research at bbb.org before you buy.
Winnipeg's business community is calling for action to tackle crime and drugs downtown. In late June, police did a 10-day blitz targeting open drug use and trafficking. Now the Winnipeg Chamber of Commerce wants to know what's next. To explain, here's CTV's Jeff Keel.
Even though his business is partially shielded by the police station, F Apparel owner Andrew Parks says they're not immune to what some people are doing downtown.
They're engaging in activities that I would say that are not usually what you'd like to see in public spaces, so drinking, drug use, that kind of stuff.
In late June, the police did a 10-day sweep, cracking down on open drug use and trafficking downtown. Parks says a week and a half of enforcement is not enough.
Something needs to be done at the very least to let people know that it's not going to fly to be doing it in front of children, in front of businesses, in shared public spaces.
The Winnipeg Chamber of Commerce agrees. It released a statement supporting the sweep, adding people are saying enough is enough. The question that must be addressed now is, what happens after the 10 days of enforcement action? Our members have been clear that downtown safety cannot depend on short-term action, but strategic, visible, and sustained efforts. Mayor Scott Gillingham has also said he would like to see the enforcement continue.
A lot of people have expressed their appreciation for the Winnipeg Police Service and the crackdown on open illegal drug use.
The police have not yet released stats from the 10-day blitz and say they're speaking with social agencies before announcing what happens next. Some of those groups raised concerns the crackdown negatively impacted vulnerable people struggling with addictions and homelessness. Nick Van Siegelen owns Bodegos in the Exchange. He noticed a bit of a change in the area since people stayed home during the pandemic.
Darkness can't exist when there's light. When there's people around, they are the light.
He believes enforcement is just one piece of the puzzle to clean things up.
Obviously, the policing, the punishment if it is warranted, and if it needs to go into the social side of things to help with addiction and whatever else comes with it.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
During the first 2 days of the crackdown in June, police had 100 interactions with people using drugs. 25 people were arrested and 3 people were taken to the detention center. The chamber says while the city is facing a mental health and addictions crisis that needs support, the safety and rights of everyone, including people and businesses downtown, needs protection. Half a dozen bronze plaques have vanished from landmarks around Steinbach. And they didn't just disappear. Steinbach's mayor says they were stolen, adding it was done in, quote, incredibly bad taste. Each of the 6 plaques were mounted in public parks honoring the area's history, leaders, and milestones. Replacing them all will cost around $25,000. The city is hoping they'll be returned. Those who have any information about these missing plaques are asked to contact the city of Steinbach or Steinbach RCMP. Calgary police are saying they're not giving up on their search for 11-year-old Parker Wells, but after 2 weeks, the efforts will now focus on evidence and investigative leads.
Our approach is changing, but our resolve to find answers for Parker and his family is not. We will continue to follow up on tips, re-examine evidence, and pursue any new leads that emerge. If new information identifies an area requiring additional search activity, we are prepared and ready to respond.
Parker went missing 12 days ago from his daycare home. Parker has autism and is nonverbal. Investigators say search efforts to find Parker will now shift to specific information rather than extensive ground searches. Since Parker disappeared, hundreds of officers and volunteers have searched more than 8,600 kilometers on foot. A happy ending to a tale that began with a missing foster puppy in Wolseley. Brownie's littermates were excited to welcome her back home after she disappeared from a yard in Wolseley last week. After a search, Manitoba Animal Alliance discovered the 9-week-old Shepherd Malamute mix had been stolen. Then on Friday, a social media follower notified the rescue group they'd spotted the pup with 2 people on bikes downtown. Volunteers with Manitoba Animal Alliance and Manitoba Underdogs tracked the pair to a duplex in the area. They surrounded the house to make sure no one left until police arrived.
They said as soon as the door opened, they could see the puppy there right away in that duplex, and in less than 60 seconds they had the puppy in their hands and came outside with it to our people.
Police say they interviewed one person, but it's unclear who stole the puppy. The rescue says Brownie was dehydrated and apprehensive, but is now back to her old self. Brownie and her siblings Twilight and Cola are available for adoption. And a major wildlife study has revealed new images of the Amazon's elusive ghost dog. Researchers from the Wildlife Conservation Society in Bolivia used 34 motion-triggered cameras across parts of Bolivia and Peru. They found a small to medium-sized wild dog with small ears, short fur, and a fox-like snout. The animal was given the name ghost dog because of how elusive it is. The study found they're thriving in the deepest parts of the jungle. And some road closures to remind you about this morning. Following the rush, one southbound lane on McPhillip Street will be closed between Polson and McRae Avenue. On McLeod Avenue, the eastbound curb lane will be closed from London to Luelda Street. And on Wall Street, at least one northbound lane will be closed for construction between Walliver and St. Matthews Avenue. If you have any traffic tips to pass along, text them to us at 10400.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
CTV Live Eye is brought to you by the Bath Fitter. Live Eye, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. Taking a check-in outside right now. Decently hazy, a little bit foggy to start us off, but for the most part pretty clear. You can see a couple disturbances though kind of lingering over there on our western border, likely to cause some rain or thunderstorms for central portions of our province. Meanwhile, heat warnings continue and have in fact expanded since we spoke yesterday. So there was this kind of little thin swath of yellow here in southern Manitoba. Manitoba, those heat warnings having been in effect since the weekend. And it's expanded further to the north, reaching as far to the north as Flin Flon and the Paw. So because of that, humidex values to watch out for today, anywhere from 35 to 40 centimeters degrees today. It's going to be sweltering, and not just today. It's going to be a prolonged heat event, is the way Environment and Climate Change Canada is describing it. So just how hot we're going to get today: 19 degrees as we kick us off, 29 already by early morning, and that's when we have that low chance of rain and thunderstorms introduced. And then by early evening, 30 degrees. Going to be a hot one. In fact, we're getting even hotter than that. 31 is our high, 26 is seasonal. Needless to say, we are clearing that bar, no problem. Winds will be light, not much of a factor, not doing much to cool us down. And we have that lingering risk of rain and thunderstorms, not only today, but overnight and into tomorrow, when our mercury rises even higher, if you can believe it. 34 degrees, and then a nice cool down comes on Thursday at 27, under a good chance of some showers. Bob Rosender snapped this beautiful photo in Killarney Lake of that smoky, hazy sunset. Thanks for sending that in, Bob. And if you've got any weather pictures to share, be sure to email us to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
The Gordie Howe Bridge is now open to traffic, and members of the Howe family were the first to drive across.
Like, personally, a memory that we will treasure, both of us, something that we'll be able to share with people, and feels like an honor to be a part of this.
Gordie Howe's grandson and his wife made the ceremonial first crossing. They were followed by the first commercial truck to cross. Shortly after that, the bridge was officially open to the public. The bridge is a 6-lane crossing with a speed limit of 60 kilometers an hour. Pedestrians and cyclists can cross the bridge starting August 5th. And while Gordie Howe's family may have been the first to drive over, there was another historic crossing over the bridge from Windsor to Detroit. CTV's Robert Lothian went along for the ride.
This historic ride will never be forgotten by Marvin Diot or his grandsons, Micah and Camden.
Is it what you expected? Yeah.
Or even myself.
I just thought it was cooler to, whenever the bridge opened, to be able to take my dad's car with the grandkids across the bridge and back.
In the first hour of the opening of the Gordie Howe International Bridge, decades-old rubber hit brand new road. Diot driving his family's more than century-old vehicle over the new crossing.
I want the memory for them and me on the opening day.
Talk of this monumental trip has been years in the making.
We've been hearing about it for 2-3 years at least, and we've been pretty excited for it.
And the plans had his grandsons thinking,
an old car would be nice to go be one of the first people to go across the bridge so we can have that memory for years.
The Ford Model T was one of the first affordable automobiles to hit the American market. This one, built in Michigan, has been around longer than any Windsor-Detroit border crossing.
Now, with me having it, I'm keeping Dad's life alive and memory alive, or whatever. It's all very, very good for me.
And even as we travel up the bridge, friendly honking is no surprise.
They must think it's a beautiful car and that it's obviously really old, so.
And you was talking about honking, there was another one just there.
And even after a little car trouble, this trip, even if brief, was a piece of history to never forget. For Marvin, his grandsons, and even me. What were your thoughts?
Awesome. I guess my word's always fantastic. It's absolutely great. It's I'll have smiles for days just for doing it.
Robert Lothian, CTV News.
If bird watchers are called birders, are these enthusiasts called planers? A hotel balcony near Heathrow in London is the meeting spot for the Plane Spotting Club. The club is a gathering for people who want to see different types of planes and turn the sightings into art. Heathrow is known as a plane spotter's paradise because of all the different aircraft that come and go on any given day. And Provencher Bridge out there, not a lot of traffic to show. Stay with us. We'll be right back with more CTV Your Morning Winnipeg.
Taking a check-in outside, our hazy sun already shining brightly. 17 degrees out there. Winds are calm. Barometric pressure is falling. Humidity sitting at 93%. Hazy fog, that's kind of been the theme of the morning through much of southern Manitoba. The fog sounding pretty dense over, specifically in Portage-la Prairie. Meanwhile, we are tracking this slight disturbance here. You can see scattered thunderstorms associated with it, likely to bring rain and thunderstorms to central parts of our province. Meanwhile, there's always the chance of thunderstorms when it's getting this hot. In fact, heat warnings have just expanded since we spoke yesterday. Yesterday, it was all throughout southern Manitoba, the Red River Valley, most of the Interlake. Today, it's expanded further to the north, getting as far as Flin Flon and the Pas, even into Barons River. Because yes, that humidex is going to be a major factor today, making it feel more like 35 to 40 degrees, sweltering to be sure. And it's not only just today, it's likely getting even hotter into tomorrow. Today, though, no slouch, 31 degrees, very balmy indeed. Winds out of the south at 15 kilometers per hour. Again, not much of a factor, not doing much to cool us down. And we have that low chance of rain and thunderstorms. That's always kind of hovering when temperatures get this hot. It definitely remains overnight. Temperatures not losing a lot of that 20 degrees, not a lot of reprieve there from the heat. And those winds staying mild out of the south at 15 kilometers per hour. And then tomorrow, no, this is not a typo, 34 degrees, unseasonably hot, incredibly, almost dangerously warm. So if you're spending a lot of time outside in the next couple of days, you do want to make sure you're protecting yourself, water, sunscreen, shade, breaks, because yes, this is the kind of conditions that can be punishing if not dangerous. Then on Thursday, we get a little bit of a cool down, 27 degrees, although technically that's still above seasonal, but that rain will go a long way before the weekend the sunshine reemerges.
The province is expanding its flood recovery assistance to include even more communities. The Manitoba Flood Recovery Program helps homeowners in hard-hit areas who may not qualify for other aid if flood insurance is available for their properties. These are the communities just added to the program, including both the City and RM of Dauphin, Grandview Municipality, the RM of Lakeshore, and the RM of Riding Mountain West. The program doesn't provide full compensation, but it can be used for basic and essential needs, such as repairs, cleanup and mold remediation, or housing and meals if you had to leave your home. You can find all the details by visiting manitoba.ca/MFRP. The City of Brandon has begun removing protective barriers as river levels continue to drop. In a social media post, the city says it started taking away super sandbags along First Street. It's also dismantling inflatable flood protections and is cleaning up around homes where flood barriers were in place. The city says the work will take time and is asking residents to give crews space to work safely. Drivers should also expect delays. The Assiniboine River peaked on July 13th. 2 people are facing charges after a traffic stop north of Winnipeg led to a drug bust here in the city. It began Wednesday in Grosse Isle when Mounties pulled over a vehicle traveling overnight from Thompson to Winnipeg. A search of the driver and passenger allegedly turned up a large sum of cash, and the driver had an outstanding warrant for drug trafficking. Police then searched his home here in the city and found 1 kilogram of meth and 700 suspected fentanyl pills. The 23-year-old driver is charged with drug possession for the purpose of trafficking, obstructing a police officer, and failure to comply. The 24-year-old woman in the passenger seat was charged with possession of property obtained by crime. Both are from Winnipeg. Canada's U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc will be in Washington this week for the first time since the U.S. made new tariff threats. Minister LeBlanc will be joined by Chief Negotiator Janice Charette. Prime Minister Mark Carney had said trade talks would intensify after the U.S. president signed off on those new 50% tariffs. LeBlanc's office did not say which day he would be in Washington. New U.S. tariffs are due to come in effect August 19th. Okay, kids, cover your ears. It's time to think about back to school. And new data shows when it comes to buying school supplies, parents overwhelmingly prefer to go in person to a store and not online to get what they need. Here's CTV's Camille Wilson.
Catherine Morin and her granddaughter, soon-to-be 5th grader Amelia, are getting a head start on back-to-school shopping. They have a list.
Probably like some pens, markers, and some pencils and erasers and stuff. Maybe a pencil case.
And a budget.
How about $40 because it's our first day shopping. And she's got a dad and an aunt and, and my mom. Family's big.
New data from the Retail Council of Canada shows when it comes to school supplies, parents prefer in-store shopping, 99% of them.
We know that, according to the survey, parents do research digitally and compare online, but physical stores do remain central because families want to see the products They need to confirm availability.
I like it in store myself so you can see what's out there.
Yeah.
More variety.
For this kind of shopping, nothing beats being able to touch the product.
Definitely in store. We like to test out our product. In store, you get to try it out, see how it feels, you know, backpacks especially, check out the markers. We like to make sure we're getting the good products.
Back to school shopping is a giant business in Canada worth about $4.5 billion. Parents can pay between $600 and $750 a year, including electronics like a computer. The data shows people using digital flyers and online to check reviews and compare prices.
I'll go online and get like the inspiration, but then I'll probably go in person as well.
Shoppers choosing to wait for promotions, comparing costs and finding deals.
Some things might not be in the budget.
Parents are expecting to pay more this year than last year.
I would like to watch prices. They do not care about prices.
There's school shopping, either the tools for the classroom or clothes and stuff like that too.
So how did Catherine and Amelia do with their $40 budget? Closer to 80.
No.
The cost is twice as much as we're aiming for.
Still, they found what they needed. Camille Wilson, CTV News.
Here in Canada, The Odyssey is now a hit movie. In Greece, it's always been required reading. At schools across Greece, 7th graders spend their whole school year going through The Odyssey line by line. They analyze Odysseus, the character, based on his intelligence, strength, and motivations. Homer's Iliad and Odyssey are used to introduce students to ancient Greek. And taking a look at the current traffic situation on Portage Avenue near Polo Park, they're starting to pick up. Text those tips to us at 10400. And taking a look at your gas prices here in Winnipeg, the average is $1.71, a small increase from yesterday, and the lowest price in the city is $1.57. All this information is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your car today.
And Ainsley McPhail is out at Grant Park Shopping Centre taking a look at some of the cruise night's finest. We'll have details after the break.
Weather is brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful. Our new Hunter Douglas showroom is at 900 Lorimer.
A hazy, hot and humid start to your Tuesday. Wow, it is already 17 degrees, which is quite warm for this time of day. Winds are calm, doing nothing to cool me down out here. And yes, skies decently clear, but there is this kind of veneer of haze. Barometric pressure is falling, humidity sitting at 93%. So we've been kind of in a holding pattern through Manitoba through the last couple of days because we have this heat blanket, if you will, that's really just enclosed itself all around most of southern Manitoba, but it's starting to drift to the north. To that point, those heat warnings have been expanded. Yesterday and through the weekend, they were in effect through much of southern Manitoba. They've gone as far north as the Paw, Flin Flon, Barons River, because the humidex value is going to be more like 35 to 40 degrees, not only today, but tomorrow getting even hotter. So yes, with that, we always have that low chance of rain and thunderstorms. That's plaguing most of the province today. Likely, though, we're going to stay hot and dry, and yes, getting even hotter into tomorrow. 34 degrees tomorrow. No, you don't need to check that. That is what Environment and Climate Change Canada is predicting. Heading on over to Grant Park, where we're learning all about cruising culture in Winnipeg with Ainsley McPhail. Ainsley.
Good morning. Yeah, well, maybe just have the top down, and if it's going to be that hot. Winnipeg cruising culture brings thousands of people to the Grant Park parking lot. Ren Charlotte is behind it all. Good morning. Thank you for being here.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. Okay, tell me about this group, because it's really blown up in the last couple of years.
It has. It started off as just a simple group to talk about all things Sunday cars, and it's turned into what it is today, which is a nonprofit organization. We host a weekly Sunday car show from May to September, and yeah, we've aligned ourselves with some great charities, and we just love all things cruise.
And if I don't have a fancy car, I can still come by and enjoy.
Absolutely. No, you don't need a fancy car or a classic car. You can spectate if you want to. Yeah, there's lots for everyone to see, from classics to old to motorcycles to trucks to exotics. We have some Ferraris and McLarens that come. There's something for everyone.
And for the people that do, they've really rallied around the community element. How many cars, just to paint a picture, because there's so many, come out here every Sunday?
Yeah, so in any given Sunday from 3:30 to 9:30, we can see anywhere from 250 to about 430 cars was our biggest show day. So that brings thousands of people. It's a great family event. It's always free, and yeah.
Well, you mentioned the charities. Let's get into that a little bit more. Which ones? And as ladies, there's a pink night.
Yes, we are supporting breast cancer research, and we are inviting all the pink cars in the city on September 13th. So come show your ride, wear your pink, and let's raise some funds for a really great cause.
Well, I should come and then dress up, see if there's a Barbie or something. I just love the Barbie mobile. Almost at a time. Anything else you want people to know?
Well, I just, you know, we're a nonprofit. All our merch sales, which I'm sporting today, goes to the Winnipeg Cruising Culture Automotive Award, which supports a second-year Red River College automotive tech, and it's $2,500. We've committed to 5 years helping them go to school.
Thank you so much. I promise I won't dress up like Barbie. Don't worry about that. See you after the break.
A look at the early markets. The Dow Jones is 155 points up. The Nasdaq dropped 254 points. The S&P index is flat. The Canadian dollar increased, set to 70.85 cents US. Overseas, the Hang Seng added 103 points, and the Nikkei plummeted 2,566 points. New support is coming for a North End Women's Center program expansion.
Together, we are building something more than a building, and a place where women and families can thrive for generations to come.
The Manitoba government is providing $459,000 to help the organization known as NUC expand its transitional housing program. This brings the total to $1.34 million. The planned development on Selkirk Avenue is adjacent to the existing facilities.
This investment will create 8 new transitional housing units, while expanding counseling, parenting supports, life skills programming, and other wraparound supports that help women not only survive but thrive.
The project will double the size of the existing drop-in center and housing space. Construction is expected to start next fall. Half a dozen bronze plaques have vanished from landmarks around Steinbach. And they didn't just disappear. Steinbach's mayor says they were stolen, adding it was done in, quote, incredibly bad taste. Each of the 6 plaques were mounted in public parks honoring the area's history, leaders, and milestones. Replacing them all will cost around $25,000. The city is hoping they'll be returned. Those who have any information about these missing plaques are asked to contact the city or Steinbach RCMP. At least 50 people were hurt after a magnitude 7.1 earthquake hit southern Japan. One hospital is treating up to 50 people. Several people who were on a bullet train when the quake hit were also injured. Several buildings have collapsed and there are widespread power outages. There are reports of people trapped in a shopping mall. More than 150,000 people have been told to head for evacuation centers as officials warn of aftershocks and landslides. No problems were reported at the nuclear power stations in the area. Canada's Online News Act is facing a renewed debate after word that Ottawa is sitting on a proposal from Meta to put news back on the platform.
Sharing of news without proper compensation is not fair.
According to Politico, Ottawa has a proposal from Meta that doesn't involve paying for content. Ottawa hasn't responded because the issue is part of Canada's bargaining position in larger U.S. trade negotiations. Minister of Canadian Identity and Culture Mark Miller says he won't share details on talks with Meta about getting Canadian news back on its platforms. Meta has blocked news on Instagram and Facebook since 2023, when the Online News Act called for tech giants to pay Canadian producers. Last year, Ottawa dropped the digital services tax because it angered Donald Trump. But Minister Mark Miller says there are no plans to repeal the Online News Act, which is also a known trade irritant. 175 people who came to Canada for the World Cup have made asylum claims to stay in the country. Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada has confirmed that number to CTV News. More than 26,000 visitors flagged FIFA World Cup 26 in their paperwork to travel to Canada. Out of those, 175 people later made asylum claims. Canada hosted 13 games during the tournament in Vancouver and Toronto. Dramatic new video of a shark attack off the coast of Fiji. Watch as the shark swims right up to a man spearfishing and bites his leg. The man fights it off with his spear gun. He suffered severe injuries but says he saved his leg. And some wild video to show you now of a truck carrying dangerous materials backing up on a Montreal highway, sending cars swerving around it. This is video taken from a traffic camera on Highway 20. You can see the truck slow down and stop after missing an exit for a way station. It then backs up in the right lane, and you can see cars braking and swerving quickly, trying to avoid the truck. The union representing road controllers says on top of the dangerous maneuver, the truck was also carrying refrigerated liquid carbon dioxide. No one was hurt, and the driver now faces a $1,600 fine, and their driver's license was suspended for 7 days. Some road closures to remind you about this morning. Following the rush, one southbound lane on McPhillip Street will be closed between Polson and McRae Avenue. On McLeod Avenue, the eastbound curb lane will be closed from London to Llewellyn Street, and on Wall Street, at least one northbound lane will be closed for construction between Walliver and St. Matthews Avenue.
Oh my gosh, I was having oh my goodness, sorry, breaking news. This is the cutest dog I've ever seen. Oh my gosh, so cute. In the dog days of summer, and just an adorable dog. 17 degrees, I think a French bulldog maybe. Under those sunny, hazy skies, calm, barometric pressure falling, humidity at 93%. Oh my God, why are we cutting back to me? That's a star we see over there. Yes, give those pups a good walk in the early morning hours, because we know the heat is just going to be going up, up and away. And with my dog, he gets so hot that we have to keep our walks so short in this heat. And to that degree, we do have these heat warnings in effect. They have been kind of lingering in southern Manitoba for the last number of days. They've since expanded further to the north, enveloping the Paw, Flin Flon, Barons River. That's because that humidex really starting to soar, starting to feel more like 35 to 40 through those very hot hours into the late afternoon. And it's likely not going to let up for the next couple of days. It's a prolonged heat event, as Environment and Climate Change Canada explained. Meanwhile, we're doing decently in terms of our heat through the northeast. However, this is still well above seasonal for you, so not quite as balmy, but for your standards, this is very, very hot indeed. 26 degrees in Thompson with that low risk of rain and thunderstorms. 26 degrees also in Gillam, though most likely just a mix of sun and cloud. Maybe some rain on the way to Churchill, 30 in Island Lake. To the northwest, that low chance of rain and thunderstorms, hot highs in the upper 20s. Southwestern Manitoba, that low chance of convection in Dauphin and Swan River, really hot at 31 degrees. Same goes for us, that outside chance that we could be getting a bit soggy. Light winds, temperatures there in the low 30s. Much the same in the northwest, where you too could be needing that umbrella today. Overnight, that risk of rainfall and thunderstorms lingers. Temperatures dipping down to 21, and into tomorrow even hotter at 34 degrees.
Well, let's check in now on the team at 103.1 Virgin Radio. Good morning, guys.
Good morning to you.
Good morning.
And I agree, Catherine, that dog, hilarious. So let me introduce the panel here, okay? Ace Burpee, Chrissy Troy, LTI. Ace Burpee and LTI have been labeled the summer losers.
That's what people are calling us.
That's what people are calling us out on the streets. And I'll tell you why, Daniel. Because we don't just like it. We love Fresca, like the drink.
Delicious.
I don't think people would be confused. They know
Thoughts?
it's the drink.
Fresca, the beverage.
Are you on?
What's the line in Caddyshack?
Are you on our team?
There's a line in Caddyshack, right? How about a Fresca?
That's right.
Okay, there you go.
I wouldn't say I love it. It's not my first pick, but you know what? A crispy, cold Fresca on a hot day does just hit right. Sorry, Chrissy. The boys are right on this one.
Interesting. Hang on. Crispy, cold Fresca on a hot day. Today's a hot day.
Oh.
Oh, hey, bud. Thanks.
Fresca's for the boys.
Oh, yeah.
Fresca's for the boys.
Crushing tins.
Shotgunning these this weekend.
Oh, that's delicious.
On a serious note.
Especially before 7 a.m. That is a power move right there. Absolutely.
That's when you need it.
This hits you hard. On a serious note, congratulations, Catherine Dow. We love you so much. Catherine Dow is now the official
Your Morning Winnipeg weather host.
That's right.
Catherine, we're so excited.
Give her a big old Fresca cheers.
You guys know that I am the connoisseur of aspartame drinks, so you picked the correct day to be toasting me with a Fresca, because I love Fresca.
All right.
Catherine Dow.
Catherine Dow. Catherine Dow.
Thank you.
A couple that first met as teenagers in band camp has played all the right notes throughout the years as they write the soundtrack to their life together. CTV's Adam Sawatsky has more.
Rather than accordion, Adam Faber was playing piano during the band camp performance that changed his life.
Trying to show off as a 15-year-old boy would.
But instead of applauding, a 13-year-old girl in the back was heckling him.
Play Freebird or whatever she was hollering at me.
She was flautist Sarah Faber, who was struck by Adam's musical talent and multicolored smile.
Really, really neon elastic colored braces. And I was like, yeah.
That's my guy.
That's the guy.
Although what they were thinking during their first conversation after that was different.
I felt like there was a lot of chemistry and, you know, like violin lines and...
I'm out of my league, man. You're just sitting there going, oh my God, a girl.
After chatting effortlessly and playing together daily, Sarah and Adam agreed to start dating immediately after band camp.
A 25-minute drive when you don't have your license is an eternity away.
But despite the distance, the couple kept growing closer and dated consistently from middle school through university.
Enough stayed the same, and then what did changed in a way that both of us were still drawn to.
You kind of realize that you don't picture your life with anyone else.
So Adam proposed, Sarah said yes, and then they both vowed, I do.
I think each of us think the other is the cooler one.
After being married for almost 18 years and together for more than 25, now Dr. Sarah works as a neuroscientist, while Adam's hobby is crafting satirical songs like this one about community conflict over pickleball.
I wish that there was anything that I could say or do so they keep it down.
Well, his lyrics inspire enduring smiles, and her research shows the benefits of music on the aging brain. Adam and Sarah credit their longevity on always playing the soundtrack to their enduring love story together.
And every time we play it together, it's just like, oh, I remember that.
Yeah, we'll be out on the porch in our rocking chairs, kind of remembering the fun times in the old songs, and maybe playing a few new ones.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News.
Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back with more CTV Your Morning Winnipeg. It's Tuesday, July 28th. Today, backyard break-in, how a Winnipeg family's frightening encounter is raising questions about police response times. Plus, wind debate. Pressure is mounting on Manitoba Hydro to expand wind power as energy hearings begin. And positive ending, how a stolen foster puppy's adventure ended with a tail-wagging reunion. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning. Thank you so much for spending your Tuesday with us. I'm Daniel Halmerson, joined by weather specialist Catherine Dow, and an emphasis on weather specialist today because as of today, you have now become our permanent weather specialist here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Congratulations, Catherine. Very, very well deserved.
Thank you.
Mean, you've done a lot of jobs around here at CTV News. In my 5 years, it's been such an honor working with you.
Well, you too, Daniel. It's so nice sharing chairs with you. And I've been on the morning show in some way for the better part of 10 years, sometimes permanently, sometimes not. And it's my first love because getting to share mornings with people, it's such a different connection to viewers. And so I'm just so happy, and I dare say use the word blessed to get to do this because, yes, just a fabulous, fabulous team here. Big shoes to step into, but I do have similar colored hair, so that should help a little bit, hopefully.
All right, your first weather hit as the permanent specialist.
My goodness.
It's going to be a hot one.
Yes, it will be, absolutely. In fact, we are still in the throes of those heat warnings that have been in effect in the south through the last couple of days, but they've since expanded. And as such, we're starting off on a pretty muggy note out there. 17 degrees, clear and hazy, and a little party crasher there, that bug crawling on our camera. You can see that the winds, though, also very calm. Not doing much to make us feel any cooler, not going to be much of a factor throughout the day. Barometric pressure is falling, humidity sitting at 93%. So yes, we do still have this little system. It always seems to be the case this time of morning. There's always a slight disturbance creeping in over from the west, likely impacting central parts of the province, but they're not alone. Most of southern Manitoba has a chance of some rain or thunderstorms today because it's just so darn hot out there. Humidity plus moisture can brew some of that convective activity. And in terms of our heat, those heat warnings I mentioned have since expanded further to the north to engulf the Paw, Flin Flon, Barons River, because yes, humidex values today going to feel more like 35 to 40 degrees and not letting up in the next few days. Meanwhile, our futurecast gives us a sense of some of these little glimmers, these little flickers of disturbances. So there's the one we were tracking earlier. As the day progresses, you see a couple fits and starts there. Much of Manitoba, in fact, is likely to deal with a mix of sun and cloud today and that low chance of rain and thunderstorms, maybe a bit more in the way of cloud coverage in that very northeast corner. As the day progresses, you're not seeing a lot of change there, partly cloudy skies overnight, but something more substantial is brewing there over those northerly parts of the province, likely to bring rain into tomorrow evening through much of northern Manitoba. For us, though, we still have that low chance of rain and thunderstorms, not only today but into tomorrow, because our heat just exploding. 31 degrees, 34 into tomorrow, and then happily for me and for many folks who don't love the humidity, a bit of a come down on Thursday, 27 with a good chance of rain. 8-year-old Cash drew this lovely photo for our weather art of the day, the geese enjoying the lake and the sunshine and the moon. Thanks so much for submitting that, Cash. And if you want to submit your child's weather art of the day, be sure to visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. There you have to fill out the form. Your art can be shown on Your Morning Winnipeg, but it is also going to enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift card from Crockadoodle on Kenaston and Regent.
The weather art of the day is brought to you by Crockadoodle Paint Your Own Pottery, now open on Regent and Kenaston.
Some tense moments over the weekend when a security camera alerted a Winnipeg mother to an intruder in her backyard. Her son was home alone. She called 911, but it was hours before help arrived. CTV's Joseph Bernacki reports.
It's scary knowing that your kids are home and you're not home. Something could happen.
Crystal Watson is still shook up, thinking back to Saturday morning. She and her husband were out grocery shopping when her phone buzzed.
We got a notification from our camera in the back that someone was in our backyard. Looked like it was scoping out our house.
She called her 15-year-old son, who was at home. He quickly dialed 911.
It was scary at first because, someone was in my backyard, without knowing them.
Security camera video from their house shows someone looking through their front and backyards. Minutes later, the person is gone. Although nothing was taken from their yard this time, the family is upset over response times from the Winnipeg Police Service.
It took about 2.5 hours for them to come, even after my son called them.
The Winnipeg Police Service confirmed the incident. They say depending on the resources available and whether or not a person's life is at risk, response times can vary.
Whenever we get a call that comes in, it is prioritized in importance as far as a threat to property or a threat to a person. Of course, there's precedent set with a threat to a person will take a precedent over a threat to property.
Still, Watson wants to know how she can better protect her family. They installed the security cameras after their barbecue was stolen in May, minutes after they used it. She now refuses to keep anything in their backyard out of fear.
We took things in our own hands and we put boards on our gate to make it higher so they can't jump in the back.
Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Crystal Watson says nothing was stolen from their property on Saturday. Meantime, the Winnipeg Police Board could not speak to this specific incident, but encourages homeowners to report any incident so they can be recorded for crime rate statistics. As hearings get underway for Manitoba Hydro's energy future, a former Manitoba energy minister is pressing the Crown utility to expand its wind power generating capacity.
Is that Hydro has been slow walking and refusing and backing off wind for more than 20 years, while North Dakota's got 36 times our wind capacity, 36 times. Quebec is way, way ahead.
Tim Sale is throwing his weight behind a new report from Climate Action Team Manitoba, which accuses Hydro of delaying the introduction of wind power, despite enthusiasm from developers, communities, and politicians in the early 2000s. The Crown Corporation's current proposed plan does include adding 600 megawatts of new wind power by 2035. Hydro spokesperson Peter Chura says the plan is to work in conjunction with the proposed natural gas turbines near Brandon.
Right. Well, first of all, it's not either or. Wind energy is great, but it's intermittent. You can't rely on it all the time. So it needs to be backed up by what we call dispatchable capacity. That's something that can kick in quickly to pick up the slack when wind stops blowing and the wind energy stops being available. So natural gas burning turbines would fill that role, as well as be available for peak energy times when our capacity reaches its limits, and also for emergencies and droughts.
But existing power purchase agreements will expire over the next decade or so as wind turbines reach the end of their life, meaning the net increase will be closer to 340 megawatts. A happy ending to a tale that began with a missing foster puppy in Wolseley. Brownie's littermates were excited to welcome her back after she disappeared from a yard in Wolseley last week. After a Surge Manitoba Animal Alliance discovered the 9-week-old Shepherd Malamute mix had been stolen. Then on Friday, a social media follower notified the rescue group they'd spotted the pup with 2 people on bikes downtown. Volunteers with Manitoba Animal Alliance and Manitoba Underdogs tracked the pair to a duplex in the area. They surrounded the house to make sure no one left until police arrived.
They said as soon as the door opened, they could see the puppy there right away in that duplex, and in less than 60 seconds they had the puppy in their hands and came outside with it to our people.
Police say they interviewed one person, but it's unclear who stole the puppy. The rescue says Brownie was dehydrated and apprehensive, but is now back to her old self. Brownie and her siblings Twilight and Cola are available for adoption. And people aren't the only ones in need of a cool down in China. The Harbin Polar Park is preparing special cooling meals for their animals. They include fruit popsicles, chilled vegetables, and fruit sorbets for animals like capybaras, red pandas, and raccoons. Workers at the zoo say the treats are a cool feast for the taste buds. And a quick look at traffic out there. A note to pass along. A stalled semi-truck is blocking the northbound shoulder lane on La Jamodier and Headmaster Row. If you have any traffic tips to share, text them to us at 10400.
A wild ride for some markets today. South Korea's Kospi index plunged nearly 11% on heavy selling of computer chip making stocks that have been battered recently by waves of fears that the boom in artificial intelligence may turn out to be a bubble. Trading was temporarily halted at times as the Kospi dropped to its lowest level since April, closing down nearly 11%. Shares in chipmaker Samsung sank 13.4%, SK Hynix 14.7%. European shares opened moderately higher after a day of losses for most Asian markets, while U.S. futures were mixed. Oil prices declined more than 2%. Canadian travel to the U.S. fell 25% or $3.3 billion last year, according to a new Canadian government report, which says early 2026 data shows the decline has persisted. The report provides some of the clearest measures yet of the economic cost to the U.S. tourism industry after trade tensions, tariffs, and President Trump's repeated 51st state comments led many Canadians to vacation elsewhere. And those are your business stories for this morning. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
CTV's Ainsley McPhail is live this morning at Grant Park Shopping Centre. She's learning a little bit about cruising culture and cruise night here in Winnipeg. Far cry from the Toyota Corolla I drove back when I was 16, running down Portage Avenue. You're in some sort of vehicle right now. What are you looking at?
Well, am I in a 32 Ford or am I a 30-year-old inside a Ford? Well, you're going to have to come to Winnipeg Cruising Cultures Sundays to find out. Between 200 and 400 cars come through here every Sunday. And whether you're coming for a hot dog or you want to support the various charities that they do, such as Harvest Manitoba and breast cancer awareness, they're also giving a scholarship to a Red River College student for $2,500. So giving back in a beautiful way and just a really fun, nostalgic Sunday.
Right on. And we go from a 32-4 to a high of 31 today here in Winnipeg. Catherine's up on the roof. We're hitting some pretty extreme temperatures the next couple of days.
You're stealing my thunder, Danny. You just gave my forecast. No, yes, it is indeed going to be hot. I don't think that's a spoiler for anyone. 17 degrees, sunny, very hazy out here. And in other parts of the province, very foggy. Brandon, Portage, La Prairie, even Thompson. You are dealing with those patches this morning. For us, light winds out of the north, barely registering, not doing anything to cool me down. This blazer was a mistake. Barometric pressure rising, humidity at 94%. So heat is indeed the name of the game, no surprise. Heat warnings have in fact expanded as of yesterday in areas further to the north like the Paw, Flin Flon, Barons River, but no matter where you're at, it's going to be a very hot day indeed. For us here in the south, temperatures peaking in the low 30s, winds not changing too much. Strongest they'll get is out of the southwest at 15 clicks. Meanwhile, temperatures similar to the northwest. The northeast maybe a few degrees cooler, but the one kind of overextending factor, there's the word I'm looking for, is this low chance of rain or thunderstorms. Always brewing when it's this hot out there. Likely continuing overnight, and yes, tomorrow even hotter. 34 expected in Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
It's time now for our question of the day. As you just saw, Ainsley is with Winnipeg Cruising Culture today, so we want to know, what's your dream car? Classic, modern, custom trucks? Share it with us. You can text your answers to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response, and don't forget to include your name.
Question of the day, brought to you by Provivo, Manitoba's #1 cool sculpting clinic, science-backed body contouring.
At Your Morning Winnipeg, we're all about celebrating your amazing pets, furry, feathered, or scaly. Your Pet of the Week submissions have been amazing, and we want to see even more, whether it's dogs, cats, birds, or any other pet pals. Send them our way. Drop your pet photos and a fun little story about them to petoftheweek@ctv.ca. Catch us every Thursday to find out if your pet is our Pet of the Week on Your Morning Winnipeg. Moving along on Taché Avenue, we'll be back with more CTV Your Morning Winnipeg. Police are asking for your help finding a woman from northern Manitoba who arrived in Winnipeg earlier this month and hasn't been seen since. 36-year-old Dixie Richard came to the city July 18th for an appointment, but no one has heard from her since, and it's not known if she even made it to the appointment. Mounties believe she's still in Winnipeg, and her family is worried for her well-being. Richard is described as 5 feet 1 inches tall with a thin build and long black hair. She was last seen wearing a black tank top, black leggings, black Nikes, and carrying a black cross body bag. Anyone with information is asked to contact RCMP or Crime Stoppers. Health workers at an Ebola treatment center in eastern Congo have gone on strike over payment issues and it's disrupting patient care. The number of confirmed Ebola cases in Congo has reached 2,905 with 1,269 deaths. Activities at the Ebola treatment center were largely paralyzed after staff stopped working. About 100 health workers protested over the weekend, saying they haven't been paid in 2 months. The Central African nation has been battling the outbreak since May 15th. It continues to spread faster than health officials can track, despite an expanding response. We're now learning more about what happened when bullets were fired into the U.S. consulate in downtown Winnipeg for a second time this year.
We will get you. We have apprehended the previous shooters, all 3 of them.
The consulate was previously targeted on March 10th when 2 suspects allegedly fired multiple shots at the building before driving away in a stolen vehicle. This time, shots were fired, followed by a high-speed police chase. The pursuit was eventually called off for safety reasons. Police couldn't say whether they believe the 2 shootings are linked. Veteran Toronto police officer Mark Pinizzato was killed while assisting in a raid tied to the first shooting investigation, which has also been linked to a recent FBI terrorism arrest. Since March, extra security guards have been placed inside the consulate, as well as a regular patrol outside. Taking a look at the current traffic situation, moving nice along the St. James Bridge. Text those tips to us at 10400.
Traffic is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires, proudly keeping Canadians rolling for 50 years.
An Alabama-born singer-songwriter has Winnipeg on his radar. Tyler Braden is bringing his high-octane show to the Park Theatre.
Promise when push come to shove, but you don't want that smoke. Better the devil you know than the devil you don't.
The country powerhouse is best known for songs like Devil You Know, which went platinum, and God and Guns N' Roses. The show is happening November 3rd, and tickets go on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. through Live Nation. One of Assiniboine Park's most popular events, pirouettes into the Lyric Theatre this week, and on Monday, we got a sneak peek. You're watching the dress rehearsal for the Royal Winnipeg Ballet's annual Ballet in the Park. Over 3 nights beginning this evening, you'll get a sample of last year's performances and those to come. It's a free event, just bring your own lawn chair. Ballet in the Park also marks 1 year since its artistic director, Christopher Stoll, led his first program for the RWB.
I'm really happy. We premiered a new work called Odyssey back in April by the choreographer Dwight Roden, really important voice in contemporary ballet. He made it for us last year, and we're doing excerpts from that here tonight. And we're also adding a new ballet to our repertoire, a ballet called Who Cares? It's set to all George Gershwin songs.
Ballet in the Park runs tonight through Thursday at the Lyric Theatre. The curtain rises at 6 p.m. for pre-show activities, with the RWB taking the stage at 7. And your primetime lineup starts at 7 with The Big Bang Theory. Then at 8, watch 2 Winnipeg brothers competing on The Amazing Race Canada. And at 9, catch Password. It's all right here tonight on CTV. And it's shaping up to be a hot but nice night to go check out Ballet in the Park.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's already a huge physical feat what they do. In this heat, wow, they're going to have to really be sure to hydrate. Why am I giving them advice? They're like world-class athletes. But yes, they're going to be up against some hot temperatures. Looking outside at the Bathfitter Live Eye, the CTV Live Eye is brought to you by Bathfitter, excuse me, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. Certainly a hazy start to the day, and in certain parts very foggy. Portage La Prairie, Brandon dealing with those dense fog patches, even Thompson. Meanwhile, we are tracking this slight system here, bringing a low chance of rain and thunderstorms to central portions of the province. But with it, there's also that low chance of thunderstorms and rainfall almost no matter where you're at today because of that heat, which can brew those conditions that make it perfect for that kind of stormy weather. Heat warnings, in fact, have expanded. Yesterday, they were mostly just in the south. They've expanded to the north, spreading out over Flin Flon, the Paw, Barons River. Humidex values associated with these heat warnings going to feel like 35 to 40 degrees, very hot, very sweltering, and likely not letting up in the next couple of days. So just how hot is it getting? By mid-morning, it'll be 19 degrees, 29 in the early afternoon, and 30 degrees by early evening, and we're going to get even hotter than that. 31 is our projected high today. Of course, 26 is seasonal. We've been surpassing that easily, comfortably for the last number of days. And we have that low chance of rain and thunderstorm activity, not only today, but overnight and into tomorrow, because our temperatures just soaring. 34 degrees tomorrow, dangerous conditions. And those overnight showers, however, are likely to roll in on Wednesday night, setting the stage for a rather rainy day on Thursday. And the good news is a little bit cooler, 27 degrees, still technically above seasonal, but a marked change from 34. I'll take it. I do not like this extreme heat. Meanwhile, the haze does make for a beautiful sunset over in Killarney Lake. Bob snapped this photo of the picturesque moment. Thanks for sending that in. If you've got any weather pictures, picturesque moments, if you will, be sure to email them to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
July 28, 1914. Austria declared war on Serbia, touching off the First World War. Britain subsequently declared war on Germany and Austro-Hungary. Britain's declaration automatically included Canada as part of the British Empire. Canadian casualties during the war numbered about 68,000. July 28, 1984. The Los Angeles Summer Olympics opened, minus 15 countries which stayed away in a Soviet-led boycott. The opening was marked with an elaborate production which featured, among other spectacles, 84 piano players performing together. The event ran for 3.5 hours and involved 10,000 participants. Canada ended the Games with a total of 44 medals, including 10 gold. July 28, 2020. Remdesivir, a product of the pharmaceutical maker Gilead Sciences, became the first drug to be approved by Health Canada for treatment of patients with severe COVID-19 symptoms. The federal agency said the antiviral drug may be used to treat adults and adolescent patients with pneumonia who need extra oxygen to help them breathe.
Doctors in Montreal say they are seeing a spike in eating disorders among young people, and they say it's something they see every year during the summer. CTV's Swida Rassi explains.
Summer is the season many look forward to, but for some, it's the hardest time of the year. Dialogue, a Montreal-based virtual healthcare provider, is seeing a 57% jump in consultations for eating disorders.
It's a problem that is seen most often in the summer.
Dr. Mark Robbins says changes in routine, a lack of school support, and the pressure of having a beach body explain the rise.
This is cyclical. It is a seasonal variation that we observe.
The numbers are even worse for young people. Consultations are up 73% for people aged 17 to 25. Lise André-Massé at Anorexia and Bulimia Quebec says nearly 300,000 people in the province live with an eating disorder.
We know that the first sign can start at 4 years old.
She says eating disorders can affect anyone. Men, she says, are often more pressured to look muscular, whereas women feel the need to look thin, especially on social media. Last summer, the hashtag Skinny Talk was banned on TikTok because it encouraged eating disorder behaviors.
We reach out to TikTok and say that it's something that should be banned.
Now, if you type Skinny Talk, what comes up are helplines, including one from Anorexia and Bulimia Quebec. But the problem doesn't just go away.
But they reinvent themselves. So the fact that this is there, it's concerning.
Eating disorders are complex and in some cases deadly. And with summer in full swing, experts say reaching out for help is crucial. Swida Rassi, CTV News.
Ainsley McPhail is learning all about cruising culture this morning. She'll have details coming up after the break. Checking in on Ainsley McPhail, who's learning all about car culture and Sunday night cruise night. And while it's Tuesday morning, people are out there with some pretty impressive vehicles. Who are you chatting with now, Ainsley?
This is Claude, and Winnipeg cruising culture has blown up in the last couple of years. Although for you, Claude, it's been going on for quite a bit longer than 2 years. So tell us about the nostalgia behind this vehicle in particular.
This truck was my dad. He purchased from Low and Chavos in Steinbach in 1952. It stayed on the farm till 1978 when it was retired because he bought a new truck. He passed in 99. My mom gave me the truck in 2005 or so. Started restoring it in 2015. Finished it in 2020. And it's a full frame-off restoration. Every piece has been taken off, painted, and re-put back together to original style.
Well, it definitely didn't look like this when it was sitting in the farm, I'm sure. Tell us about what went into that, some of the equity.
Well, basically, there's a lot of body work that had to be done on the actual corner of the frames. The hood, the cab, the doors, the front grille is all original. The four fenders needed to be all totally replaced because being on the barn, on the farm, in the barn, it doesn't last very well. So everything's been redone inside and out, and everything's been painted separately. That's why you see all the stainless steel bolts. They're all separate and not painted because it was all reassembled after every piece was painted.
What a beautiful way to honor your dad who passed away back in 1999. You even found a little signature, too.
He's my backseat driver all the time. He can't get away from me. I can't get away from him. So the signature on there comes from the original registration I found in the truck when I was restoring it, and the picture of my dad just a couple of years before he left us. So.
Okay, what a beautiful way to end this segment. I don't even want to ask you any more questions because that is just so profound. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
You're welcome. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Back to you, Danny.
So special. What a great story. You know, Catherine, I'm so impressed with people that can restore these cars. It's a feat for me to just go get an oil change.
I mean, you know, a lovely tribute to his dad. I don't want a reminder of my dad in my car because if anyone learned to drive with a parent, it's a scarring experience. My dad would like slam his foot like he had an invisible brake or something. Oh. So he's not a calming presence that I wish to immortalize in my 2010 Hyundai Tucson if I want to be invited to cruise night. My DMs are open. Okay, let's talk about the way the day is shaping up. Not a bad day to take a cruise, especially if that AC is on full blast, because wow, it's going to be a hot one out there. 17 degrees, lots of sunshine, a lot of haze. Some of that from those wildfires burning basically in Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Ontario. Yes, it's been a very rough wildfire season indeed. Winds are also very light this hour out of the north, not doing much to cool us down or break up that haze. And the barometric pressure, meanwhile, is rising, humidity at 94%. Heat warnings continue throughout the province as likelihood of some rain and thunderstorm activity goes along with it. You do see a slight disturbance here creeping in from the western border there from Saskatchewan. So the strongest chance of rain and thunderstorms is coming in those central portions of the province. Meanwhile, no matter where you're at, it's going to be a very hot day indeed. Heat warnings have in fact expanded since yesterday, drifting further to the north alongside the Paw, Flin Flon, Barons River. Likely with that humidex, it's going to feel closer to 35 to 40, not just today, but for the next couple of days to come. Today, though, is going to be very, very hot, 31 degrees. Those winds staying pretty light out of the south at 15 kilometers per hour. And again, that low chance of rain and thunderstorms, particularly in the late afternoon, which is when those hottest temperatures are expected to arrive. 21 degrees overnight, that low chance of rain and thunderstorms as well. Winds staying light out of the south. And then tomorrow, even hotter, if you can believe it, 34 degrees, increase in cloudiness with that low chance of rain and thunderstorms. Winds staying pretty light as well. Overnight into Thursday, some rain is likely to come off and on and stick around for the next day. 27 degrees, so a marked cool down, still above seasonal, but much better than the 30s. And into the August long weekend, 28 clear and sunny, and that's kind of the theme just ahead. Lots of sunshine and above seasonal temperatures.
2 people are facing charges after a traffic stop north of Winnipeg led to a drug bust here in the city. It began Wednesday in Grosse Isle when Mounties pulled over a vehicle traveling overnight from Thompson to Winnipeg. A search of the driver and passenger allegedly turned up a large sum of cash, and the driver had an outstanding warrant for drug trafficking. Police then searched his home here in the city and found 1 kilogram of meth and 700 suspected fentanyl pills. The 23-year-old driver is charged with drug possession for the purpose of trafficking, obstructing a peace officer, and failure to comply. The 24-year-old woman in the passenger seat was charged with possession of property obtained by crime. Both are from Winnipeg. Winnipeg's business community is calling for action to tackle crime and drugs downtown. In late June, police did a 10-day blitz targeting open drug use and trafficking, and now the Winnipeg Chamber of Commerce wants enhanced enforcement to become standard.
Something needs to be done at the very least to let people know that it's not going to fly to be doing it in front of children, in front of businesses, in shared public spaces.
In late June, the police did a 10-day sweep cracking down on open drug use and trafficking downtown. The Winnipeg Chamber of Commerce says sweeps are fine, but what's needed is a more sustained approach to enforcement. The police have not yet released stats from the 10-day blitz and say they're speaking with social agencies before announcing what happens next. Some of those groups raised concerns the crackdown negatively impacted vulnerable people struggling with addiction and homelessness. Mayor Scott Gillingham has also said he would like to see the enforcement continue.
A lot of people have expressed their appreciation for the Winnipeg Police Service and the crackdown on open illegal drug use.
The Chamber says while the city is facing a mental health and addictions crisis that needs support, the safety and rights of everyone, including people and businesses downtown, need protection. Many people are trapped and feared dead after a major earthquake in Japan caused a mall to collapse. This is the scene at Aeon Mall in the Kumamoto province after the magnitude 6.8 earthquake. Reports say there was an explosion at the mall after the quake, causing the second floor to collapse. Many people were trapped, but a spokesperson said some people did make it out. This video shows workers leaving an office building as water sprays from a burst pipe. The earthquake left significant damage across Kumamoto. Footage shows a building on fire and a train derailed. We also know at least 50 people were injured and taken to hospital. People in the hardest hit areas are now being warned about aftershocks. Mediators are reporting progress in getting the U.S. and Iran back to the negotiating table. The two countries have held off on attacks for 3 days now, after almost 2 weeks of exchanging strikes. Regional officers say mediators led by Qatar and Pakistan are now working to get Washington and Tehran to recommit to their interim ceasefire. There are also reports this morning that Oman has made a proposal to Iran for a joint deal to manage the Strait of Hormuz. Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc will be in Washington this week for the first time since the U.S. made new tariff threats. Minister LeBlanc will be joined by Chief Negotiator Janice Charette. Prime Minister Mark Carney has said trade talks would intensify after the U.S. president signed off on those new 50% tariffs. LeBlanc's office did not say which day he would be in Washington. New U.S. tariffs are due to come into effect August 19th. And a ring-tailed lemur born at the Cali Zoo in Colombia is progressing well under assisted hand-rearing. This is Diana. She was born in June but was removed from her mother after zookeepers observed her being left on the ground for prolonged periods of time. That's unusual behavior for lemurs. In order to reduce human imprinting, they have her cuddle with a stuffed animal during feeding. It's meant to simulate her mother's role during the time. Ring-tailed lemurs are endangered because of habitat loss, so every lemur success story is an important one. And some road closures to remind you about this morning. Following the rush, one southbound lane on McPhillips will be closed between Polson and McRae Avenue. On McLeod Avenue, the eastbound curb lane will be closed from London to Llewellyn Street. And on Wall Street, at least one northbound lane will be closed for construction between Walliver and St. Matthews Avenue. And taking a look at your gas prices this morning, the average in Winnipeg is $1.71, a small increase from yesterday, and the lowest price in the city is $1.57. All this information is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
It's 17 degrees outside right now here in Winnipeg. More news and weather next on CTV Your Morning Winnipeg.
Sticky start to the day, very humid. Oh, our friend is back. I feel like my skin's crawling just looking at that. 17 degrees, hot, sunny, and hazy. Very light winds out of the north. Pressure is rising. Humidity sitting at 94%. Yes, we're in the midst of the throes, if you will, of a heat spell throughout much of the province. The heat warnings here won't surprise you. They've been in effect through southern Manitoba for the last couple of days, but they've since expanded further to the north. Flin Flon, the Paw, Barons River, you're now affected, with humidex values expected to be very hot, 35 to 40. While they haven't triggered quite in the northeast, these conditions, though they do look milder, and they are, than what we're going to experience here. It is very hot for this time of year for this neck of the woods because seasonably it is cooler there. 30 degrees though in Island Lake, very hot indeed. 26 in Thompson, where there's a low chance of rain and thunderstorms today. 26 in Gillam. Churchill also could get a little soggy with a high of 18 degrees. The northwest certainly very balmy in that stretch. 29 degrees through much of the area, a bit cooler in Lynn Lake. Rain, thunderstorms possible, not likely, but with this heat and that moisture out there, it is always possible. Same goes for our friends in the southwest, particularly in Swan River and Dauphin, have that chance of convective activity. Brandon and Neepawa likely just hazy. In fact, it's a very foggy start to your day there. Highs in the low 30s. Much the same for us here with some very light winds out of the southwest. The strongest they're going to get is 15 kilometers per hour, but certainly nothing to cool us down. And yes, those highs at 31, but that humidex making it feel more like 35 to 40, and those hottest temperatures coming likely in the late afternoon. Northwestern Ontario, you too have a low chance of rain, thunderstorm activity into the late afternoon. Temperatures there peaking in the upper 20s to low 30s. For us overnight, we still hang on to that chance of rain and thunderstorms overnight. Temperatures not moving a lot. If you can believe this is an overnight low, 21 degrees, very hot indeed. And it's getting just downright oppressive tomorrow. 34 are high. That low chance of rain and thunderstorms persists, but the likelihood of showers ramps up overnight, sticking around into Thursday when we get a marked cool down. 27 degrees, though still above seasonal, a nice break from those 30-degree values.
Well, those 30-degree values will be back over the weekend, though, especially on Sunday evening when the cars hit the streets. Ainsley McPhail's learning all about cruising culture this morning. Who are you chatting with now, Ainsley?
I'm with Dayson. What a beautiful vehicle behind me, and every vehicle has a story to go along with it. You have how many? 365?
365 short stories, at least on paper, but a million more in real life.
Let's first talk about the car. What do we have behind us?
It's a 2014 Dodge Viper GTS. It's I've had it since the start. It came from Estevan, Saskatchewan, and I fell for it when I sat in it, and I came home a couple months later. It is a wicked car. I race it, I track it, I drive it to shows. It's an awesome car.
That's so fascinating. To the book, with the stories, what inspired you to write a book with so many?
I actually did a thing on Facebook quite a few years ago where every day for a year I just wrote a story, because just for fun, you know, just something, an experience in whether it be a Pontiac Sunfire or a Dodge Ram or whatever. Everybody has experiences, and every car guy I talk to, they always talk about their stories. And I just wrote them for fun, and people started to really like them. It was really cool, so I kept it up for a year.
Winnipeg cruising culture really allows people to do that, build community and tell those stories. What keeps coming up for people, I guess?
You know, a lot of it for the older folks, it's a lot of history. It's a lot of like, I used to have one of these, or my buddy or my neighbor or my cousin or whatever. And for the younger ones too, the younger ones have not seen a lot of them before, so they're super excited to see something shiny. You know, and just everybody's got some attachment to something. I love that.
And a memory, like a memory, a feeling. Is there one story that just top of mind really screams nostalgia for you?
Probably stuff like my grandpa had a 58 Chevy wagon that just sat in the corner of like a little garden that he used to have. And I never rode in the car. The car was always parked and, you know, full of bees and whatever. But my parents and my uncles and everybody always talked about the stories in the family with that car and driving around. And they still had the car, and it just sat there, and I just always loved that car. I just loved looking at it.
Oh, now that you say that, my dad had I don't know what year, a TR6. Oh. That's all I remember. Yeah, very cool.
You remember it even as a kid.
Of course you know. Okay. A story a mile long. Back to you.
A dog has been reunited with her family following a dramatic rescue mission spanning 3 days at an Ontario park. Willow had to be rescued after she fell some 60 feet down the Elora Gorge. CTV's Karis Mapp has the story.
3-year-old Willow is back home in Ingersoll after a dramatic ordeal at the Elora Gorge Conservation Area. The Labrador Retriever fell over the edge of a 60-foot cliff last Wednesday, setting off a multi-day search.
My first thought was like, this area is huge. I'm like, oh my gosh, how am I going to find her?
Owner Becky Popiolek says she was out tubing with her son when Willow, who was wearing a leash, wandered off unnoticed. She says park workers found Willow near the edge of a trail, but the dog became afraid, backed away, and fell.
She just felt overwhelmed by the people around her, and she ended up slipping off the edge and falling.
A rescue team from the Centre Wellington Fire Department sprang into action next, rappelling down the side of the cliff.
It was about a 60-foot fall into a very wooded area between the wall and the river. So we had 3 rescuers that were down searching for the dog, and we searched for over an hour, both upriver and downriver. And unfortunately, it got dark. We had to call off our search at that point.
Becky says she kept searching for Willow on Thursday and Friday, but then had to leave.
I was like devastated. I was thinking the worst. I'm like, oh my gosh, my dog's like injured. My dog's might be dead.
The search wouldn't be over thanks to volunteer group Ground Search and Rescue KW.
We knew that they had rappelled and done all their business, and they kind of exhausted everything at that point, but we were like, let's go see. You never know.
With infrared technology, they found Willow about 500 yards downriver from where she was seen falling.
The dog was on the other side of the river, so we used an inflatable boat to have our rescuers go across the river and get the dog.
Just to see them come out with the boat and do the whole rescue and being able to witness all of that was incredible.
As soon as I got home, I got the call from the ground search, and they're like, we found your dog. I was like, oh my God. So I got home, and then I went back.
Following Willow's dramatic rescue, she was transported here to the Elora Gorge Animal Hospital, where she was diagnosed with exhaustion, dehydration, and a pulmonary contusion.
I walked in, I just started bawling. I fell to the floor and just hugged her and cried.
A happy ending that also comes with a message for pet owners.
At the gorge here, we do have some very inaccessible areas. So outside of keeping your animals on a leash, just making sure that they're under control at all times.
Karis Mapp, CTV News, Elora.
And let's see who's celebrating a milestone today. Happy first birthday, Ayanna. Love mom, dad, grandparents, great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents, and the rest of your family. Happy birthday, brother Anthony. Love from your family. Happy 7th birthday, Liam, with love from Coco Boop, Chris, and your cousins. Happy 11th birthday, Harlan. Love mom, dad, and Rowan. And happy 7th birthday, Miller, with love from Daddy Jordan and Papa David. To submit your milestone, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance.
Weather is brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
It's going to be a hot one out there, 31 degrees, as you can say, clearing that average high pretty comfortably. Last year, we were cool, 18.3, and yes, thankfully, even though it's hot today, nothing like what they saw back in 1951 at 36.1. Unfortunately, though, we will be in spitting distance of that temperature as early as tomorrow, but right now even, I'm sticky, it's hot, it's muggy out here. 17 degrees this early in the morning, and there's very little wind, as you see, very light out of the north. It's hazy and sunny as well, pressure rising, humidity at 94%. So hazy and foggy in certain parts of Manitoba to kick off the day. Portage la Prairie, Brandon, even Thompson. Yes, you're dealing with those fog patches likely to dissipate later on this morning. Meanwhile, heat warnings have in fact expanded pretty much all of southern Manitoba, in fact, but they've drifted further to the north in the Paw, Flin Flon area, even Barons River. So that's because humidex values expected to feel like 35 to 40 degrees today. Very, very hot indeed. But even if they're not in effect where you're at, it's still going to be hot no matter where you are, because we are in the midst of this sort of heat dome that's really locking in not only today but into tomorrow. Today, though, mix of sun and cloud, more clouds into the afternoon. Also into the afternoon, a low chance of rain and thunderstorms throughout the south. And into tonight, that risk does linger. Temperatures not budging a lot to 21 in Winnipeg. And then tomorrow, I mentioned hotter temperatures, 34 expected in Winnipeg.
Today is World Hepatitis Day, and this year's theme is a call to remove barriers standing between people and the services that can save their lives. Joining us now is Dr. Devinder Singh, a medical officer of health here in the province. Good morning, Dr. Singh. Thanks for being here.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Now, I understand World Hepatitis Day focuses on Hep B and C. However, we're seeing a Hep A outbreak right here in Manitoba. First off, how do those types differ?
Well, so all the hepatitis viruses mainly affect the liver, although they can cause other effects in the body. Hepatitis B and C are classified into sexually transmitted and bloodborne infections. Hepatitis A is spread by the fecal-oral route, so you ingest the virus basically before an infection starts.
What are some of the symptoms or maybe early warning signs of hepatitis A?
So you might get a fever, general fatigue or malaise, and then you might get significant abdominal pain or cramps. You could have dark colored urine or get diarrhea, and later on in the course of the virus's infection, you could turn yellow or get jaundiced, as they say.
This Hep A outbreak here in Manitoba has been going on for months. You've been expanding vaccine eligibility. How's that going?
That's right. So we recently expanded the eligibility for the hepatitis A vaccine very significantly. So this outbreak has been going on for over a year. It's mainly impacted northern First Nations communities and some parts of Winnipeg. So in Winnipeg, the two groups that have been mainly impacted are those who are homeless, as well as those who have household visitors from these communities. So the expansion of the hepatitis A vaccine eligibility includes all individuals living in any Indigenous community in Manitoba, any person who's traveling to or working in any of these communities, as well as anyone who has household visitors from these communities.
How has vaccine uptake been since you really expanded this?
So we've noticed, significantly increased number of individuals who are getting vaccinated, which is great. That's what we hope for, but we need many more people to be vaccinated. So we've procured, many doses, over 50 times the usual amount of vaccine that we would normally get in a year for Manitoba. And the key is to do two things. One is to follow hand hygiene recommendations. As I mentioned, the virus is taken in either usually by food or water that's been had the virus on it. So following hand hygiene recommendations before you eat, after you use the bathroom, before you make food for anybody, and after you change any diapers or you're taking care of kids especially. And secondly is getting vaccinated if you're eligible. So even one dose of the vaccine is incredibly effective. Provides about 90 to 95% protection after a single dose, and it can last over 10 years for the average person.
If someone does contract Hep A, what are some of the treatments available?
So it's mainly supportive care. Hepatitis A doesn't cause long-term or chronic infection like other types of hepatitis, like hepatitis B and C. So it's mainly about supportive care to get through the infection. Most people recover within 2 weeks, but some people can have very severe outcomes. We've had 7 deaths associated with this outbreak. We've had 8 people admitted to the ICU and almost 200 additional people hospitalized as of July 16th.
For people, watching right now, if they're curious about getting this vaccine, if they're eligible, where can they go? What do they need to know?
So just Google vaccine eligibility Manitoba, click on that link, check the hepatitis A section, or go to the hepatitis A webpage on the Government of Manitoba webpage and just see what's written there for the eligibility. If you fall under those categories or think you do, if you have any questions, talk to your healthcare provider. You can get vaccinated at basically all the usual spots, your primary healthcare provider, public health, nursing stations, health centers. So that's what I would recommend if you are thinking that you might be eligible.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Singh, for joining us this morning.
Thanks so much for having me.
Hello there, Jermaine Franklin with you in the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Monday. For that, we'll head to the Big Apple. All right, Braves, Mets, bottom 6, Luis Torrens with the grounder. Matt Olson dives over to Connor Thomas, who makes the tough play for the out at first. A great diving stop by Olson and an even better play by Thomas, making the awkward grab while having the presence of mind to find the bag for the out as he earns your must-see moment from Monday. And tonight we've got Toronto Tempo basketball as they take on the Lynx. It all starts at 8 p.m. Eastern on TSN 1, 4, and 5. That's all from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
The TSN Must-See Moment is brought to you by Super Blinds and Draperies, featuring Hunter Douglas products.
It's Tuesday, July 28th. Today, a delayed response. A Winnipeg mom questions why it took a while for police to arrive at her home after 2 calls to 911 about an intruder. Also today, a historic crossing. Family members of the bridge's namesake drive the very first passenger vehicle across the new span linking Detroit and Windsor. And we go from bridge driving to bridge diving, making the leap to commemorate the rebirth and renewal of a European city devastated by war in the 90s. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Daniel Homerson, joined by Catherine Dow. And congratulations are in order this morning. I'm so proud to announce Catherine is filling the seat permanently here on Your Morning Winnipeg as the weather specialist. Congratulations.
Thank you. I mean, it's such a wonderful show and team here. I've been in some capacity permanently or non-permanently on this show for like 10 years. So it's a love affair at this point. So I'm just very, very grateful to be able to do this and spend every morning with everybody.
And you get that permanent alarm now. You're not switching that around as much.
I'm having second thoughts now that you say that. But no, honestly, the alarm isn't so bad. But you know what doesn't wake me up so well is this heat. It kind of lulls me back to sleep, if you will, because it's very muggy out there. Not a great way to start the day if you're not a fan of humidity, and I don't know many that are. It's sunny and very hazy out there. You can see that kind of din over our skies. Winds are light, out of the north at 3 kilometers per hour. Pressure is rising, humidity at 94%. So we're getting haze. Many folks are getting downright fog patches. Areas like Brandon, Portage la Prairie, even Thompson have reported that this morning. Meanwhile, you're seeing a little glimmer here of thunderstorm activity pushing in over the Saskatchewan border, bringing the chance of rain and thunderstorms to central parts of our province. Meanwhile, heat warnings to tell you about. They've expanded, as you can see. Yesterday, they were all throughout southern Manitoba. They've pushed off into the north. Also, what's lifted are those air quality warnings. You can see that yesterday, even the 2 days before that, we had them throughout much of the northwest. Look for those to be potentially put back into effect in the next couple of days as the winds shift, and with this heat, those wildfires degrade. So that's not wonderful news by any stretch. Meanwhile, let's take a look at our futurecast, get a sense of how the day is shaping up. Decently cloudy at the very north, more mix of sun and cloud for us here in the south. That'll kind of be the name of the game. And while not much is registering behind a couple flickers, we all have a low chance of rain and thunderstorms today, brewing screwed by this humidity and moisture out there in our atmosphere. Meanwhile, clearing out nicely overnight, while we are also going to be contending with that little disturbance here or there overnight, so that low chance of rain and thunderstorms remains. With it, some very hot temperatures indeed. 31 degrees today, getting even hotter into the morning, into tomorrow, excuse me, at 34. Thursday, though, is a bit of a break to 27. Your weather art of the day, Cash drew this one, just 8 years old. Lovely shot there of the sun and the lake. Thank you for submitting. And if you would like to submit your child's weather art of the day, be sure to visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form. Your art can be shown on Your Morning Winnipeg, and it's also going to enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift card from Crockadoodle on Kenniston and Regent.
The weather art of the day is brought to you by Crockadoodle Paint Your Own Pottery, now open on Regent and Kenniston.
A Winnipeg mother is speaking out about a slow police response to a potentially dangerous incident. Crystal Watson says she and her husband were out grocery shopping Saturday morning when they got a camera security notification. Watson's phone showed her this man running through their driveway and into the family's backyard. Watson immediately called her 15-year-old son and told him to get away from the windows and lock the doors. The mother and son both called 911. Watson says it took 2.5 hours before anyone came to the house, and by then the man was gone.
There's nothing that they could really do because, like, he wasn't here. They said that, oh, you didn't say he was breaking in, so it wasn't a priority. They're like, you're lucky that there was no trespassing sign, because if he was still here with that sign, they could give him a ticket, but that's it. But if there is no sign, he's able to set up shop in our yard. Someone always has to stay home now. We can't go out as a family, and it's sad. In Ottawa, the response time would have been 5 minutes for a minor calling. But we have never seen this much, ever.
The Winnipeg Police Board could not speak to this specific incident, but encourages homeowners to report any incident so they can be recorded for crime rate statistics. The province is expanding its flood recovery assistance to include even more communities. The Manitoba Flood Recovery Program helps homeowners in hard-hit areas who may not qualify for other aid if flood insurance is available for their properties. These are the communities just added to the program. Included are both the City and RM of Dauphin, Grandview Municipality, the RM of Lakeshore, and the RM of Riding Mountain West. The program doesn't provide full compensation, but it can be used for basic and essential needs such as repairs, cleanup, and mold remediation, or housing and meals if you had to leave your home. You can find all the details by visiting manitoba.ca/MFRP. The Gordie Howe Bridge is now open to traffic, and members of the Howe family were the first to drive across.
Feels like personally a memory that we will treasure, both of us, something that we'll be able to share with people, and feels like an honor to be a part of this.
Gordie Howe's grandson and his wife made the ceremonial first crossing. They were followed by the first commercial truck to cross. Shortly after that, the bridge was officially open to the public. The bridge is a 6-lane crossing with a speed limit of 60 kilometers an hour. Pedestrians and cyclists can cross the bridge starting August 5th. And going from that, we're also going to dive into this next story. High divers jumped from the arch of the old bridge in the Bosnian city of Mostar over the weekend. The annual diving competition celebrates the bridge's post-war reconstruction. It was built 450 years ago and destroyed during the Bosnian War. It was rebuilt and reopened in 2004. The 30-meter bridge is UNESCO listed and is considered to be one of the city's most recognizable symbols. And taking a look at it's hazy out there on St. Mary's Avenue. If you have any traffic tips to pass along, text them to us at 10400. And Ainsley McPhail is with Catherine's new best friend, that beautiful little dog there. She's outside Fiona McCool's at Grant Park, talking about cruising culture this morning.
Okay, but look how... Do you think we look alike? Do you think that there's some resemblance? Just a little bit.
So cute.
Okay, well, this is who... Oh, sorry about that. This is who we're cruising with. Jocelyn's joining us, but what a star.
Yeah.
Who's this?
This is Zora. She's 5.5 years old. She loves riding on the motorcycle with me. And she's been doing it since she was 10 weeks old.
You are really enthused by Winnipeg cruising culture. You've got a couple of vehicles here. Yeah. Tell us about the bike.
So the bike is a 2009 Honda Shadow, and I've been riding it since 2011. I've been interested in motorcycles since I was a little kid. My dad took me on the back of his bike, a 1972 Honda 750. So I've always liked motorcycles, and I saw that people used to take their dogs on bikes, so as soon as she was old enough, we started teaching her how to ride. Yeah, she loves it.
Well, she's learned well, and she's clearly really happy to be here, just basking in the sun. Yeah. I love it. The Jeep. I love a yellow Jeep too. This must turn heads when you're at the Winnipeg Cruising Culture Nights on Sundays.
It definitely does. Even just stopped in traffic, I have people roll down the windows and say, "I love your Jeep," and yeah, it definitely turns out. You can't get away with anything though with a bright colored vehicle like this.
Always abiding by the rules. What do you love about it, and what do you love about the Winnipeg Cruising Culture?
What I love about my Jeep is that I can go anywhere and do pretty much anything, but also to the culture that Jeep life brings and the family. I'm part of the Red River Jeep Club, and we're just such a family of Jeep enthusiasts. We do community events and volunteer and raise money for charity, but we also go off-roading and we have barbecues, or we come here to Winnipeg Cruising Culture and hang out on Sunday nights. I've always been a huge fan of the cruising culture, especially in Winnipeg, like Sunday night cruising. That's how I met my husband.
No way.
He has a few classic cars, and I would always see him driving up and down Portage Avenue. So, one day I was like, "Hey, come over to this parking lot." And we just started hanging out. So,
nothing says romance like that. And now you have a little child here.
That's our fur baby.
Oh, I can't get over that little face. Oh. 3 people were killed in a shooting at the Seattle Food Festival, and officials say a 15-year-old suspect is in custody. ABC's Alex Stone has the details.
Gunfire at a busy street festival in Seattle Sunday, causing a frightening scene near the iconic Space Needle, killing 3 people, according to investigators. Police say those who died ranged in age from 19 to 56 years old.
We believe that 2 people exchanged gunfire outside the Seattle Center Armory. 7 victims were caught in the crossfire, with a possible 8th.
A 15-year-old suspect is in custody.
The Seattle Police Department detained a 15-year-old juvenile in connection with the shooting.
Police are searching for a second suspected shooter.
We're trying to identify who that person is. Our officers need your help if someone saw something, or perhaps if someone has some video.
Law enforcement sources tell ABC News investigators preliminarily believe it was gang-related. First responders rushing into the festival attempted to revive 2 of the people who were shot, but both of those victims ultimately declared dead on scene. Kai Chen, a Marine Corps veteran, was selling goods at the festival when he heard the shots, and he used his training to help others to safety.
Heard sounds like fireworks, but it wasn't. So everybody started running. Basically, I was close to the door, so we were just, getting everybody in as much as, as quickly as possible.
Investigators say it was not an act of terrorism.
And now police are searching for that second shooter who they're looking for right now. The police chief here is saying the city better needs to address groups of teenagers involved in violence. Alex Stone, ABC News, Seattle.
The CTV Live Eye is brought to you by Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. Certainly a hazy start to your Tuesday, and in certain places foggy. I was seeing those are the current conditions over in Brandon. Portage la Prairie's cleared up a little bit, Thompson as well. Another thing to keep an eye on here on our radar, this disturbance here, low pressure system potentially bringing rain and thunderstorms to central portions of the region. Meanwhile, much of the province in the throes of a heat warning. Winnipeg was included yesterday, as was most of the south. As you can see, it's migrated upwards to include areas like the Paw, Flin Flon, Barons River. That's because humidex today are going to feel more like 35 to 40 degrees. Very, very hot indeed, if not dangerous. For us here in Winnipeg, 31. So yes, while this will be what our temperature will read, it could feel even hotter than that at times, most notably in the late afternoon. Clouds will start to build into that time as well. And our winds not doing a lot to cool us out of the south at 15 kilometers per hour. In the late afternoon, we also have that low chance of rain and thunderstorms. It does persist overnight as our mercury doesn't budge a lot. 21 degrees, which is closer to a seasonal high for this time of year. Winds staying pretty light out of the south as well at 15 kilometers per hour. Then into tomorrow, even hotter, if you can believe it. 34 degrees and those winds still very light, increasing cloudiness. And again, there's still that outside chance of rain and thunderstorms into tomorrow. But overnight Thursday, looks like we're likely to get some rainfall off and on, sticking around into the day as well. Temperatures take a nice little dip, 27 degrees, still technically above seasonal, but that'll feel a lot cooler than what we've got going on through the next couple of days. And then by the weekend, we're heating up again, lots of sunshine on the way, and by Sunday, we're cracking the 30-degree mark. We're taking a break, more just ahead.
A wild ride for some markets today. South Korea's Kospi index plunged nearly 11% on heavy selling of computer chip making stocks that have been battered recently by waves of fears that the boom in artificial intelligence may turn out to be a bubble. Trading was temporarily halted at times as the Kospi dropped to its lowest level since April, closing down nearly 11%. Shares in chipmaker Samsung sank 13.4%, SK Hynix 14.7%. European shares opened moderately higher after a day of losses for most Asian markets, while U.S. futures were mixed. Oil prices declined more than 2%. Canadian travel to the U.S. fell 25% or $3.3 billion last year, according to a new Canadian government report, which says early 2026 data shows the decline has persisted. The report provides some of the clearest measures yet of the economic cost to the U.S. tourism industry after trade tensions, tariffs, and President Trump's repeated 51st state comments led many Canadians to vacation elsewhere. And those are your business stories for this morning. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
An intern from Canada has been arrested and accused of spying at NATO headquarters, raising concerns about a breach in Canada's vetting process. CTV's Judy Trin looks into where vulnerabilities exist.
Belgian authorities have accused a Canadian female intern at NATO headquarters of being a spy. After her arrest, the woman's office and home was searched by police. Her computer data was downloaded. This arrest is prompting the Canadian government to investigate how she got her security clearance, which was vetted by CSIS and the RCMP.
As a country, we will continue to investigate the processes we have and the security screening. It is an ongoing work that we do, and in this particular case, I think it's important to get to the bottom of what happened.
The minister says whether the suspect worked for internal Canadian departments before she was hired at NATO is also being looked at. Belgium's federal prosecutor says the intern is of Chinese origin, a Canadian citizen suspected of spying for an unnamed third country and of being a member of a criminal organization.
The junior employee that is most prone to manipulation, exploitation, senior or leadership positions, they often have the protection 24/7. They have security agencies watching their back.
Analysts say young employees are vulnerable targets for hostile foreign powers playing the long game.
The juice is worth the squeeze, right? Because I mean, if they invest in this asset for a very long time, they keep it under the radar, keep attention away from that person, and then that asset rises to deputy foreign minister or becomes head of the delegation or, is one of the political military affairs at shape. The amount of intelligence and what that asset can pay back after years of investment is really just unbelievable.
NATO says no sensitive information or operations were compromised at its headquarters. The Canadian woman makes her first appearance in court on Tuesday behind closed doors. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
Decades after the bodies of two women were discovered in separate cases in Toronto, police say they have finally been able to identify the victims. CTV's Heather Butts on how they solved the mysteries.
Sifting through the ruins of a demolition site in 1995, police knew then this decades-old murder would be challenging to solve. Forensics determined the victim was buried after suffering at least 6 blows to the head from a hammer-like weapon.
They couldn't even develop a DNA profile because of the decomposition. And now they don't just identify the DNA profile. They put it to a town in Scotland.
In 2022, it was selected as part of Project 31. Toronto police made progress using investigative genetic genealogy and only recently identified the victim as Mary McLeod Moffat. Born in 1905 in Scotland, immigrated to Canada and was likely murdered in 1936.
We were able to obtain a segment of bone from her that actually was able to yield a perfect, nice, clean, fully robust DNA profile for her, and our team of amazing genealogists were able to wrap this up.
Police say the victim's estranged husband, who died a decade before the remains were discovered, is believed to be responsible for her murder, putting a 90-year-old case to a close. The second cold case breakthrough, also very public and high profile in nature. A 2004 crash along a major Ontario highway where police found a badly burned body in the passenger seat.
What's suspicious is the amount of damage on the car.
The cause of death was never determined. DNA analysis led police to many Cree communities. And after 2 decades of piecing together family connections, she was identified as Patsy Flora Lagarde.
When you speak to relatives of it, says she was actually very full of life and a very sort of energetic, happy person. So bringing this news to them was absolutely crushing.
An element of closure for 2 families decades later. Heather Butts, CTV News, Toronto.
I'm certainly starting to feel the heat out here. Humidex kicking in, although it says we're at 21. Our Humidex making it feel closer to 27. And yes, we're going to be dealing with those intense periods of humidity for the next couple of days. Meanwhile, lots of sunshine, good amount of haze as well. Some parts of that are that wildfire smoke still very much prevalent in our skies. Winds are light out of the north, not helping me much to cool down. Barometric pressure rising, humidity sitting at 86%. So heat warnings abound throughout southern Manitoba and have in fact drifted upwards further. Areas in the Paw, Flin Flon, Barons River also dealing with those heat warnings because yes, that Humidex will be quite the factor today, making it feel more like 35 to 40 degrees at times. Even though technically heat warnings not in effect in the north, it's still going to be downright balmy, very hot in those areas, particularly in the northwest. Meanwhile, with this amount of heat and moisture, there's always that low chance of rain and thunderstorm activity. Winnipeg could be seeing that late this afternoon. That's not coincidentally when we're also getting our hottest temperatures. Winds are going to stay pretty light as well in the south, out of the south at 15 kilometers per hour. Overnight, a low chance of rainfall continues, and tomorrow even hotter, 34 degrees. A hazy sunset snapped by Bob in Killarney Lake. Thanks so much for submitting, and if you've got any to share, be sure to email your weather pictures to the email address on your screen.
100 days, 7,500 kilometers. A 22-year-old Ontario man is running across Canada this summer, racking up an impressive step count and raising money to send young people to college and university. And he's racing right through our province this week. James Newman joins us to share more about James Runs Canada. Good morning, James.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Where did we find you this morning?
I am right on the side of the Trans-Canada Highway in Manitoba, about 100 kilometers east from Winnipeg.
Wow. So where did you start your run and where does it end?
So we started all the way in St. John's, Newfoundland, and that was over 70 days now, around 4,900 kilometers ago. And yeah, we're ending in Victoria, BC, and the route is inspired by Terry Fox. So there's a statue of Terry in St. John's and in Victoria where he wanted his route to start and finish. Obviously, he didn't get all the way through, but inspired by him, that is the route we chose.
Wow. Now, I just checked this morning, yesterday alone, you hit around 60 kilometers or so. Is that close to your daily average?
Yeah, that's close to what our daily goal is now. There's been a few days, especially recently, with the smoke. As you guys were just saying on the news, the smoke, the heat, it's a factor. The heat we can figure out with more pit stops and dealing with hydration. The smoke is another thing. We are trying to find the best parts of the route that are the least smoky. Today doesn't seem too bad, but just want to be careful with that. So some days are less, but that is what we're aiming for every day. Yeah.
So over the next couple of days, you're going to be running through Manitoba, probably hit Winnipeg on Thursday. What goes through your head while you're hitting the pavement?
Well, I think that the first thing is, if you are going to do something like this, you need a really good reason why. And my why is to raise money for kids at risk who have been orphaned to go to school, to go to university, trying to raise money to create a renewable scholarship for kids for forever that'll last a long time. The reason why I want to do that is because I was once orphaned and I wanted to pay it forward a little bit and give back to the community, because I think no matter what happens to you, I think you deserve a chance to grow up the right way and to have the ability to chase your dreams and all that. So I really just wanted to prove that, and that no matter where you came from, you can still do really cool things and pursue your dreams. That's my why, and that's kind of the main thing what I think about. Yeah, it's been quite the journey.
Now, you've raised about $143,000 of the $250,000. How many kids could this help get some scholarships for?
Well, it's renewable, so it's going to help forever. The account that we have set up with the Children's Aid Foundation is this money is going to be invested, and every single year its returns are going to be used for a scholarship. So it's not going to be like all the money is going to be, you know, like 20 scholarships for 1 year for 20 kids. It's like every year there's going to be 1 or 2 scholarships, depending on how much the total amount is. There's going to be a couple scholarships given out every year.
Awesome.
And then again forever. So any money that people donate to this cause, it's not going to be helping one kid 1 year. It's going to be helping generations of kids in need forever.
Wonderful. Very quickly, James, we're running out of time. I know you're tracking everything online. Where can people follow along and how can they help out?
I appreciate that. Yeah, if you want to follow along, donate, or follow the live tracker, you can go to my website, jamesrunscanada.ca. And if you want to follow on Instagram for more daily updates and things like that, my Instagram handle is also jamesrunscanada.
Awesome. Well, have a great time here in Manitoba and keep it going. Taking a look at Portage Avenue near Polo Park. Traffic moving pretty well. We'll be right back with more Your Morning Winnipeg.
Get ready to crank the AC because it's shaping up to be a very hot day indeed. 21 degrees out there, that humidex in effect, making it feel closer to 27. Sunny and hazy, light winds, pressure rising, humidity at 86%. Yes, no surprise to anyone out there, the heat continuing and actually ramping up in the days to come. With that, we do have a low chance of rain and thunderstorms basically all throughout the province, which is often the case when it gets this hot. But you see a more marked disturbance, a more defined one creeping in over the western border there, bringing a stronger chance of that convection in central parts of the province. We talked about the heat. These heat warnings, which have been in effect for Winnipeg and the surrounding Red River Valley for the last number of days, have now migrated further to the north, enveloping areas in and around the Pas, even further to the east in Barron's River. That's because that humidex is going to make it feel more like 35 to 40, even though our physical mercury is going to only get up to about 31 degrees only. Very hot indeed. Winds will be light out of the south at 15 kilometers per hour, and again that low chance of rain and maybe some thunderstorms. That also continues overnight as temperatures not doing a lot to cool down. 21 degrees with partly cloudy skies, winds staying pretty light out of the south. And then, if you can believe it, tomorrow even hotter. 34 degrees. Of course, that humidex likely going to be a huge factor, making it feel upwards of 40 degrees at times. And that low chance of rain and thunderstorms persists as well. A good cool down coming on our way on Thursday, 27 degrees with that rainfall. Still technically above seasonal, and it's just pacing itself for a weekend ahead of heat.
Winnipeg's business community is calling for action to tackle crime and drugs downtown. In late June, police did a 10-day blitz targeting open drug use and trafficking. Now the Winnipeg Chamber of Commerce wants enhanced enforcement to become standard.
Something needs to be done at the very least to let people know that it's not going to fly to be doing it in front of children, in front of businesses, in shared public spaces.
In late June, the police 10-day crackdown on open drug use and trafficking downtown. And the Winnipeg Chamber of Commerce says sweeps are fine, but what's needed is a more sustained approach to enforcement. The police have not yet released stats from the 10-day blitz and say they're speaking with social agencies before announcing what happens next. Some of those groups raised concerns the crackdowns negatively impacted vulnerable people struggling with addictions and homelessness. Mayor Scott Gillingham has also said he'd like to see the enforcement continue.
A lot of people have expressed their appreciation for the Winnipeg Police Service and the crackdown on open illegal drug use.
The Chamber says while the city is facing a mental health and addictions crisis that needs support, the safety and rights of everyone, including people and businesses downtown, need protection. Canada's Online News Act is facing a renewed debate after word that Ottawa is sitting on a proposal for Meta to put news back on the platform.
Sharing of news without proper compensation is not fair.
According to Politico, Ottawa has a proposal from Meta that doesn't involve paying for content. Ottawa hasn't responded because the issue is part of Canada's bargaining position in larger U.S. trade negotiations. Minister of Canadian Identity and Culture Mark Miller says he won't share details on talks with Meta about getting Canadian news back on its platforms. Meta has blocked news on Instagram and Facebook since 2023, when the Online News Act called for tech giants to pay Canadian producers. Last year, Ottawa dropped the digital services tax because it angered Donald Trump, but Minister Mark Miller says there are no plans to repeal the Online News Act, which is also a known trade irritant. Gordie Howe's family may have been the first to drive over, but there was another historic crossing over the bridge from Windsor to Detroit. CTV's Robert Lothian went along for the ride.
This historic ride will never be forgotten by Marvin Diot or his grandsons, Micah and Camden.
Is it what you expected?
Yeah. Or even myself.
I just thought it was cooler to, whenever the bridge opened, to be able to take my dad's car with the grandkids across the bridge and back.
In the first hour of the opening of the Gordie Howe International Bridge, decades-old rubber hit brand new road. Diot driving his family's more than century-old vehicle over the new crossing.
I want the memory for them and me on the opening day.
Talk of this monumental trip has been years in the making.
We've been hearing about it for 2-3 years at least, and we've been pretty excited for it.
And the plans had his grandsons thinking,
an old car would be nice to go be one of the first people to go across the bridge so we can have that memory for years.
The Ford Model T was one of the first affordable automobiles to hit the American market. This one, built in Michigan, has been around longer than any Windsor-Detroit border crossing.
Now, with me having it, I'm keeping Dad's life alive and memory alive, or whatever. It's all very, very good for me.
And even as we travel up the bridge, friendly honking is no surprise.
They must think it's a beautiful car and that it's obviously really old, so.
And you was talking about honking, there was another one just there.
And even after a little car trouble, this trip, even if brief, was a piece of history to never forget. For Marvin, his grandsons, and even me. What were your thoughts?
Oh, I guess my word's always fantastic. It's absolutely great. It's I'll have smiles for days just for doing it.
Robert Lothian, CTV News.
Current traffic out on Donald Street starting to pick up there. Text those tips to us at 10400. And a look at your gas prices in Winnipeg. The average is $1.71, a small increase from yesterday, and the lowest price in the city is $1.57. All this information is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your car today.
It's time now for your answers to our question of the day. What's your dream car? Plymouth Barracuda for Susan. Craig says, I'm driving my dream car, a 5.0 1986 Mustang Cobra GT. Gerald texted, my dream car is actually the Ford F-150 Truck Series. I've owned 5 of them. Candace's dream car is a 1969 Chevy Camaro, hardtop painted black cherry. Lamont shared, my dream car is a 2014 Aston Martin Vantage S. Marlene's dream car has always been a candy apple red Mustang, and for Brooke, a dream car would be a 1988 Lamborghini Countach. Thank you so much for your responses.
Question of the day, brought to you by Provivo, Manitoba's #1 cool sculpting clinic, science-backed body contouring.
And there are plenty of dream cars at Grant Park Shopping Centre this morning. It's all part of cruising culture, and that's where we find Ainsley McPhail. Who are you chatting with now, Ainsley?
This is is Jay with Finn McCool's. This is where all the magic happens on Sundays. My dream car is a Ford Bronco. And some of those answers were great. Very, very niche. Jay, why did you want to take part in this partnership with Winnipeg Cruising Culture?
Well, I guess since the car show had ended here a couple of years ago, we got lots of phone calls from the community, lots of questions about when we're going to bring it back, and it was just a matter of finding the right fit and the right partnership in order to bring the car show back. So it's great for the community. It's a family event. We try and be as much of a local pub as possible, and you can't truly be a local pub without putting on events like this.
And it's been a smashing success. Literally hundreds of people, thousands
of people, hundreds of cars. Yeah.
Wow. What does that look like? What does that feel like on Sundays?
It's I've had to rearrange my weekends, which I'm very happy about. Sundays were not a slower day, but it was more of a relaxed day in the past. Now, we're all here pretty early. Lots of prep gets done in our kitchen. We're setting up the lot early. We acquired a hot dog cart this year so that we could serve guests that are at the show as well, like outside as well as inside. A lot of our staff rearranged their schedule so that they could be available on Sundays all day. It's been a really big team effort, both from my staff and the Winnipeg Cruising Culture organizers and their volunteers.
And you know what? I chatted with the volunteers. 2 hours it takes to set this up. Yeah. A lot of dedication goes into it. Do you have any tips for anybody who's interested in coming this Sunday?
Hydrate. The last couple of weeks have been pretty hot. I think that just be prepared to really enjoy a great show with an amazing culture. The Grant Park Mall has been great to let us use the space, and I think that people are just really happy when they get here. There's something for everybody. Even if you're not a car enthusiast, there's stuff to do. There's great food inside the pub. You can get a drink and a meal, walk around, go back inside. It's just great for everybody.
You know what? I'm not necessarily passionate about classic cars, but I am passionate about hot dogs, and I will eat a hot dog while looking at classic cars. So maybe I'll see you guys on Sunday.
Good call, and always nice to see Jay. Now, Catherine, typically you'd be up on the roof. I haven't been outside since 4 a.m., and you've been saying it's quite humid out there.
It's hot. I'm not up there because of the heat, just to be clear. It's because we're having some roof work done. Just a little peek behind the glamorous curtain. But yes, this guy, talking about glamorous, a bug crawling all over our beautiful live eye. It's 21 degrees out there. Yes, you said it's hot, Danny. The Humidex making it feel closer to 27. Clear and hazy, light winds, pressure is rising, humidity sitting at 86%. So yes, starting off on a very warm note indeed all across Manitoba, really. Let me just get out of the way so everyone can see. Starting off in the upper teens or low 20s. Looks to be Winnipeg is the hottest part of our southern area. But we're even on par with that in the Paw and Flin Flon, already kicking off Tuesday at 21 degrees. Thompson at 17. Same goes for Churchill Island Lake at 18. We still have heat warnings in effect, and in fact, they have expanded, pushing further to the north in the Paw, Flin Flon, Barons River. Humidex values are going to feel more like 35 to 40 today. We'll climb with our heat to 30 degrees by the early evening, and as the afternoon progresses and those hot temperatures come, we do have that low chance of rain or thunderstorms. We're even going to be getting hotter than that. 31 our high, and if you can believe it, tomorrow is even more sweltering, if that's a word. We're taking a break. We're going to cool off, but stay with us. So much more at Your Morning Winnipeg on the other side.
Weather is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires, proudly keeping Canadians rolling for 50 years.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
One of Assiniboine Park's most popular events pirouettes into the Lyric Theatre this week, and on Monday we got a sneak peek. You're watching the dress rehearsal for the Royal Winnipeg Ballet's annual Ballet in the Park. Over 3 nights beginning this evening, you'll get a sample of last year's performances and those to come. It's a free event, just bring your own lawn chair. Ballet in the Park will also mark 1 year since its artistic director, Christopher Stoll, led his first program for the RWB.
I'm really happy. We premiered a new work called Odyssey back in April by the choreographer Dwight Roden, really important voice in contemporary ballet. He made it for us last year, and we're doing excerpts from that here tonight. And we're also adding a new ballet to our repertoire, a ballet called Who Cares? It's set to all George Gershwin songs.
Ballet in the Park runs tonight through Thursday at the Lyric Theatre. The curtain rises at 6 p.m. for pre-show activities, with the RWB taking the stage at 7. And cultivating community is at the core of the Take Root Festival coming up in August. It's a 3-day event featuring music, hands-on workshops, and good old-fashioned camping. And it's all happening August 7th to the 9th near the southeastern shores of Lake Winnipeg. And joining us now with details are Take Root Festival co-founder Chris Antonius and Studio Besma owner Shalyn Ben-Solkema. Thank you both for being here today.
Hi, thanks for having us.
Now, Chris, Take Root's described as kind of a mashup of sorts. What can people expect?
That's true. Yeah, we kind of explain the festival by saying we're a mashup of a festival, a conference, and a summer camp. Because people come on out, they camp for the weekend, they make themselves at home on the farm. They're taking in workshops, much like a conference schedule, except for the conference is actually on the farm and the workshops are hands-on and outside. So,
Shalyn, you're teaching some of these workshops, one on hand whisk brooms and eco-printing. Tell us about those classes.
Yeah, I guess I'm here sort of representing the handcraft segment of the workshops, although there's lots of different kinds of workshops at the festival that aren't just sort of craft and handcraft related. But yeah, I'm doing 2 different workshops on Saturday and Sunday. So one is a hand whisk broom making. So we'll actually be making 2 different kinds of brooms, one of which is similar to this. So it's called a turkey wing whisk. It's a traditional Appalachian style of hand broom. People really love this class, so it should be really fun.
Very cool.
And I'm doing another workshop on eco-printing, which is a method of natural dye, where you actually use botanical imprints to make an impression on a piece of fabric. So people are going to be making a bandana. This is just an example.
Oh, neat, neat. Why is it so important for people to learn these kind of skills?
That's a really good question. I'm glad you asked, because sometimes when I'm thinking about what I have to offer to this festival, I don't think necessarily, like, I think, why is arts and crafts a homesteading skill or like a land connectedness skill? But I think it's really important. What we're going to be doing specifically in this workshop is using the botanicals and some of the plants that are growing on the farm. So people are going to be able to connect with the plants and get to know a little bit about what's growing there on the farm, and then use them to create some art. And I think that's really important for feeling connected to where you are and feeling a sense of care for the place.
And Chris, you mentioned music. It's a festival.
Yeah.
Who are the headliners?
Well, we have, we're not a music festival, so we have a little bit of music, but we're thrilled with the musicians who are coming out this year. On Saturday evening, we have Burnstick, and on Sunday afternoon, we have Two Crows for Comfort coming out for music. Yeah.
And this is a whole family experience, isn't it?
It is, yeah. We have loads of kids who come out. We have a dedicated kids area that's not just kind of an afterthought. There's workshops for kids, and there's all kinds of like really meaningful handcrafts and activities for them to participate in.
What do you hear from families, after this weekend experience?
Well, we've heard that people have never felt kids be so welcome and integrated into an experience, and that next year they're going to bring their kids because they didn't realize how good it could be. So yeah, we're looking forward to having families out this year and just really connecting with each other. Yeah.
August 7th to 9th, where can people find tickets, find more information on Take Root?
Yeah, they can find us at takerootfest.ca. And there they'll find all of the information, the full workshop schedule of over 30 workshops, tickets, the menu. We have local food, lunches and dinner happening every day, as well as the music and other details.
And finally, just what do you hope people walk away from this experience?
Ooh, I hope they walk away feeling more at peace, a little more connected from some time on the land, and that they feel they've made some friendships and gained some skills that they can then share with their community, because we're really all about community resilience and community sufficiency instead of the idea of self-sufficiency and kind of do it all yourself and kind of be isolated in that. So yeah.
Wonderful. Well, Take Root Festival is happening August 7th to 9th. Thank you both for being here this morning.
Thank you. Well, I love returning to the land. Today I'm taking root in an AC space because it's going to be a hot one out there. 21 degrees, excuse me, not quite yet. Hold your horses. Humidex, though, making it feel closer to 27. Clear but hazy. Winds are light out of the north. Pressure rising. Humidity sitting at 86%. Heat warnings have expanded throughout Manitoba. You can see they've drifted further to the north, enveloping the Paw, Flin Flon, Barons River, because Humidex values quite oppressive today, feeling more like 35 to 40 degrees. Alongside our high in Winnipeg of 31, needless to say above seasonal. 26 is more typical. We also have that low chance of rain and thunderstorms, most notably in the late afternoon when those hottest values arrive, and it stretches overnight as well, so there's always a chance of a stray scattered thunderstorm or two. Temperatures dipping down to 21. Winds are going to be light today and overnight, and not shifting too much into tomorrow, but our heat shifts upwards. 34, even hotter with that low chance of showers, which does intensify overnight before a bit of a cool down on Thursday. We're going to take a break. Your videos of the day on the other side. Don't go anywhere.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center. Salon services provided by Essentique Spa Salon.
Well, let's kick off our videos of the day with a major milestone many of our viewers can relate to.
Huh? We heard it, buddy.
What a precious moment. We love Dad's reaction to hearing Daddy for the very first time. It took a couple of tries, but when it finally happened, the proud parents say it felt like Christmas came early.
That kid looks like AI. He's so cute. Oh my gosh. Adorable.
All right, let's stick with that kids theme and a brilliant parent hack for peace and quiet while your child is being entertained. This is the perfect dance party. The 2-year-old's mom put headphones on him so he can listen and dance to his favorite music while she watches, enjoys his moves and the silence.
I love it.
That's a smart move.
Yeah, cheeks for weeks on that kid. Pretty cute.
Now, playing in a band takes talent, but with this next group, you need to be multi-talented. Okay, well, this is the Big Bike Orchestra from Poland. These guys ride around Europe on a 6-seater while playing their instruments flawlessly. They turn heads and ears everywhere they go.
That violin player deserves a raise because he has to lift it so far up. My goodness, good for them.
A little try hard. We'll see you tomorrow, folks. Have a great day.